your Social Security will tell you what state it was issued? Your number? I think the first three numbers.
Oh, okay. Mine is 615.
615 is...
California, right?
550. It's mine.
Hold on. What was that, Milos?
615.
615. It's not even. I can't even find it there.
It's Yugoslavia.
You got one fake one, man. You got some of that. Yeah, it's not on there. Maybe this doesn't show me all of them because I don't see California on here either. What was Chris?
Did you notice I got my light from shining out of there?
Oh, you closed the curtain.
Got some curtains over here now.
Yeah, you closed the curtain. Chris, what was your numbers? The first three?
550.
5 what?
550.
550.
That doesn't work.
No, it does work.
Is it?
It sure works for mine. You just have to look on this. Sometimes it's mixed. 550, so 550 is from 589 to 595.
I remember
587. Yeah, I don't have all of them on here. I guess I have to look. 550. Here, this is 521 to 524. And then this is 5.
Hey, Chris, did you check, did the SAMSON block you? Because it blocked Dennis, too.
Really? Guys are assholes. No, I don't think so, man.
I don't know why. I mean, it's funny because Milos said that he was blocked. And then when he told me, I checked and I was still following him. But now when I put his name in, I don't even find it. So does that mean I'm blocked?
Yeah, for sure.
Think so?
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm blocked?
100%.
See it though? You can't see it?
Let me before I I don't understand. I wouldn't understand why. Now, usually if you follow someone, you would find them immediately. Now it doesn't find them no more. No, I guess I'm blocked. I don't know why.
Let me see. Yeah.
That's okay. I have 5 other accounts. I can check if I want to see some.
5.
Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just a glitch with
I used to have a couple of them, but I forgot how to get in.
Well, if you use the same email address, then you won't be able to see them because it's got to be affiliated with different emails, I think. I got a call from the IRS today.
Yeah.
There was a voicemail saying that I should call back this number at my earliest convenience, okay? So then I look, the number that called me is really from the IRS, Arizona Department of Revenue. And then the number they want me to call is a total different number. So I searched a little online. It says, yes, it's tax season.
Yeah.
Tax season now. The scammers are really good enough, I guess, to fucking call you from the number that is really the IRS, but they want you to call some other number. So I called that other number just to fuck with them. So a lady answered, and usually I expect them, this is Punjab from Punjab.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was an American lady in the office pretending to be like, this is you at queue number 6, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so she answers the phone and said, who am I speaking with? I said, Dennis James. She said, okay, are you calling regarding your personal taxes or business taxes? I think you should know that. If you call me. you know? And they said, like, yeah, I didn't call you. I said, whoever called me from your office, supposedly, I said, what did you call me for? That's what I want to know. I said, well, I would have to look you up. I said, no, you're not looking up shit, you know? So they said, yeah, listen, you can check the number and see that we are the IRS. Check the number, I put the number in, Google the number. It says, first one, top spam. They're going all out with that shit now, man. And the IRS will never call you.
Yeah, but that's why did she tell you, okay, like, who called you? Or like,
Well,
if you're returning the call.
she's basically saying that is not the one that called. It wasn't bought, the voicemail. It's like, this is the Arizona Department of Revenue. Please call back at your earliest convenience. Anyways, well, we're waiting on Phil, right?
Yeah, well, let me give you another warning. When I was buying the house, right, there's a title company, and I got the email and everything, original logo, lady, everything else, and I was about to send $100-something thousand, right? And it was a fake account. And thank God, you know, my wife got it.
Why? How fake account?
Yeah, title completely. Send when you need to, you know, make that initial payment. It was 130 grand, something like that. I promise you. I had screenshots of everything. So the title that I have, American whatever, email that I got, blue and red, everything else, it looks legitimate. And the amount was about the same. This is what actually got Betty to say, like, well, there's a couple $100 off. Like, okay, call to confirm. And then I called the lady, and I said, well, you know, no, you know, I didn't send you the email, and I didn't send you the number to, you know, send the money to. It was fake. And then they said, that's the most common scam nowadays. I said, well, hold on a second. That's most common scam?
For old people.
Yeah.
It was scary. I was going to do it.
You send your life away, yeah. I know. These guys are getting better and better.
Better and better.
Yeah. Listen, don't buy nothing.
All right. So, Chris, did you watch?
Everyone's buying everyone's buying offline now. Everyone's getting stuff shipped to the house, and stores are getting closed down. You notice that? Like, all the stores are getting closed down now?
Yeah, well, I mean, online business is booming, yeah. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get to the point where people
got the robots coming in.
Yeah, people won't go to the stores anymore. I mean, I like it. I order shit. I don't even fucking go, you know, go anywhere.
McDonald's is gonna be robots now. They got a whole McDonald's like that. They got like stores want to just like, oh my God. They already got us checking our own self out of the goddamn store.
Yeah. Think about
Check
it.
yourself out.
Chris, did you watch Phil's documentary?
I didn't see it yet.
Yeah.
Gee, wait, do you need me to send you $6? Come on.
No.
Hey, by the way, I did not know that your documentary cost money. I was for real. I thought it was free.
I helped you out, my brother.
Oh man.
And then you put it on blast like it's
I didn't know. I didn't know that there was a code.
You had a special invite, brother.
Oh, so you sent me a link.
Yeah.
So why didn't you say nothing?
Cool. You sent him a link. You didn't send him a link.
Because I was thinking, did I? Because it was a long time ago. It was like,
yeah, it was right.
I was like thinking, I was like, and then we just went on to something else. I was like,
right when it came out, I was one of the first one to watch it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw it on there too now. I saw it on Prime.
Yeah.
You know?
He said, I didn't know it was.
I didn't. I thought it was free because you sent me the link.
I didn't get the repost like the guru got,
but you never asked nobody to do it.
Yes, we did.
No, you didn't.
I only got one repost out of some
You didn't
people.
ask me, bro. You didn't send me nothing.
Yeah, if you did,
I did not.
I was like,
I didn't even know you had.
They got Flex Magazine, everybody reposting now. I'm like, damn, I didn't get none of that love,
bro. I didn't know you had a documentary until you sent me the link.
Yeah, I was working on it for a couple of years. It was pretty link. It was but it was good.
I loved the documentary. It was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
It was
pretty
Chris. It was Chris basically.
Had some footage that I didn't see before too. It kind of shocked me. Like,
Oh
some,
yeah.
yeah,
So you don't get to see the whole thing first.
I didn't see it.
So
No.
there's no chance for you to say, maybe not that one, that part.
Yeah, I know.
Cut that shit out.
And then I don't know. Yeah, just some of the stuff that was like sometimes you can hear like the horns blowing. I was walking back on the stage, and it was like, because a lot of those shows, let's just face it, we didn't really want to do that show, but we had to do that show. I had to anyway. A lot of shows, or or just you go some trials and tribulations you're going through. You're like, damn, this is a tough show to do mentally.
Yeah.
Just it brought back all of that type of feeling.
Dennis, why don't you check on Phil? Maybe it's the same thing like the other guys.
I did send him a message.
Huh?
Hasn't responded yet.
And like a grand entrance. Grand entrance.
Come on, Phil. You retired.
Is he coming back or not?
I was just texting with him on Friday. No, why would he come back?
Is he pulling I'm teasing the May still? I may want to.
No, he was crystal clear. He's done. No, he's done.
Yeah.
He was pretty clear in the documentary.
Yeah, it's not gonna look the same now, huh?
How can it? There's no possible way. I mean, you can. There's no way when you get to a certain age and at a certain time.
Yeah, those legs don't want to act the same.
Exactly. Even if and it's not just Phil, it's everybody. It was me the same. I mean, even if you do the same things, you just train with the same intensity, you eat the same food, your body is not going to be the same.
I want to answer the bill.
I remember.
Unless he takes the Jackson.
No, because you can still see things. I mean, it's. I remember 2012 when I came back for the stupid Masters. That was a mistake. For the Masters, and I thought, my shit was, and I was gone almost 2 years. So from October 2010 to December 2012, and I only trained for like 3 months, or not even 3 months. I think 11 weeks from the Olympia to December to the show. And I also thought, I was about the same weight. I was like, this shit. And I compared pictures after with the same weight. I was like, there's like two different people. It's not even. It's not. You can't compare nothing. Only thing that's still the same.
I'm at the same weight.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm at the same weight now as some of those days.
I was like,
Hey, Father Time has a special
yeah, man.
Only on the pictures.
Listen, the only thing that was still the same, that was the name, and that's it.
And your head.
Eyebrows. The eyebrows.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
It's true.
By the way, Chris, when you get the documentary, you have 48 hours to watch the whole thing. I ordered.
How long is it?
I say 2 hours, but I got it one day, right? And I'm watching with Betty, and then she got the phone call, and I'm waiting, and it was like 1 hour phone call. So it's okay. Let's watch the other day. The next day we didn't watch it, so like third day, pay again. Like, oh damn.
But
don't make the same mistake.
I heard you have some pretty deep.
I love it.
On there.
Mm-hmm.
Some pretty deep discussions, which no one really knew, that makes it very interesting.
Hey, but he really did block me, man. Ain't that? Where are we, man? Are we in high school? You don't like me, I block you.
You could block people back in the day.
Well,
I hope it's something wrong with Instagram. So I don't want to believe you. For what? What reason? Because I speak to Milos, or
yeah, probably.
he blocked you, Milos, first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Milos should be the only one blocked. I'm kidding.
Why should he be blocked?
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm joking. Hey, man, this is a good time to shout out some of my followers and people that listen to the show. Because I still get a lot more people. I'll be like in the Whole Foods. I was in Whole Foods in Venice the other day. A lady walked up and was like, "Hey, man, I enjoyed the show, man. I love you guys. And you guys are hella funny, man. I laugh so hard, blah, blah, blah." And informative, too. And
Was she good looking?
Yeah,
Well, let's shout out then.
in
What's her,
Germany. I
what's her
don't even
name?
know.
What's her name?
She didn't tell me her name. She just walked by and told me that I was with my son and Breon was at the in
She
Whole
was.
Foods.
You said she was from Germany.
She was from Europe. She was European accent. I just don't know. I didn't catch her name though.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well,
I'm sure.
whoever you are, was you blonde, black, blue, green,
Fun.
blonde hair, blondie from Whole Foods? What's up? What else is new?
Oh man.
Hey, we got the New York Pro in 2 weeks, and we have Pittsburgh Pro next week.
Yep.
That's gonna be a good one, I think. Pittsburgh.
We have like a semi Olympia. Okay,
Rami's coming.
huh?
Rami's coming.
Ramy is coming, right?
He's on the poster. I don't know, guys. I would believe that he's.
Told me the
he's
last
going.
time when he was coming.
Well, the last time I believed it too, but there was, I guess, I don't think he would. I think he would kill someone to make it. You know, so yeah, I think he's going for sure.
Yeah.
So, but it's gonna be nice to see these guys on stage. You know, at this point, even though we are 6 months out, it's still, you know, because it's still a show that they already know every year that's where they're going to be on stage. So it's kind of like,
Give me your,
you know, people try to stay in shape somewhat. Nobody wants to
me
walk
your-
on, huh?
Give me a top 2 Pittsburgh pro pose down.
Top two,
Well, Nick is in shape for New York, right?
Nick and
Yeah.
and they added Martin Fitzwater to it. They added Urs Kalasinski is also added to the lineup. But
He's gonna.
But
first.
top two, I mean, how can you say who's top two? It depends on, you know, top two body wise or popularity wise.
Just like wow factor and
I think
top 2 you want to see.
I think Derek definitely has a wow factor. He had 6 months to prepare for sure.
Top 2 is probably Derek and Nick, huh?
Yeah, but I wouldn't count Nick in there because Nick is in contest shape, so I can't count him somewhat.
Still want to see. Still want.
I know, I want to see him, but I don't want to say because he's in better condition that, you know, when he stands next to, who else is on there?
But Derek got some
Samson.
right now.
Samson is probably going to look great. And I'm not saying this to get unblocked. I'm just saying this.
Samson is.
I'm not
sure?
saying. I'm not saying.
You're
this
not rubbing that leg.
No. And who else is in there? Hunter? Is Hunter?
I didn't realize Samson was in it. To be honest with you,
No, he's already.
Big Ramy. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, man. That's
you got the top 6, at least the top 6
Everybody.
coming.
I have.
So anyway, I was going to ask Phil, but Phil is still not coming. I posted this vacuum or no vacuum, and then Phil asked on my Instagram, which guy right now at Olympia can pull the both vacuum and abs and look good? So a lot of them, yeah, exactly. Top 3, all 3 of them, right? Derek,
Yeah.
Hyde, and Samson can do the vacuum and abs. And then you can add Andrew Jack.
Yeah, but he don't pull it back.
So what's that question for? If you don't like the vacuum,
No, I just, you know, I've been talking shit about the vacuum. I don't like the vacuum.
that's what I'm saying.
Vacuum in the ab pose.
Yeah.
What?
That's why I'm asking. Why would you ask that question and you don't even like the pose?
I mean, I posted, so he responded to it. And then his question was legitimate. Like, who can do both and look good? I mean, top 3, definitely. Andrew Jack, I never see him do the vacuum, but he has a crazy abs and a small stomach, so he could probably do it. Brandon Curry, you know, has a beautiful, right? V-taper, small waist, good abs.
He does it. He mostly does it. He crunches down.
Are we at a point? Are we at a point where you, as an open bodybuilder, need to start learning your vacuum pose? Is that where we at now?
I mean,
It's just training the muscles. It's not like it's a big deal to me.
it's control. It doesn't matter how you control it, it's what you show. Ab and thighs, you're supposed to show the abs, and you do the vacuum, you can't see it. Like, okay, let's do the, you know, frontal biceps and hide the biceps. Let's do the lat spread and hide the lats. You know, shit. Anyway, It doesn't look like Phil is coming. Yeah, I don't have his number, so why don't you just
And,
call?
and I went to a dog sport gathering at the Memento Mori at the Coliseum. It was about 7,000 to 8,000 people there. It was like all free food and free open bar, open drink stations, and man, I couldn't believe there was that many people. Everyone had a great like attitude, no problems with nobody. Everybody's getting along really well and friendly with each other. I thought that was man, that was awesome. I
Voice
couldn't believe like
voicemail.
how
Well,
voicemail.
yeah. Well, I guess the title of this week's podcast will be "Phil's a No Show."
You called him?
I texted him and I called him, so I don't know.
Oh,
We were
shit.
still talking on Friday. Everything was still fine, so I guess something changed.
Can you contact to contact him?
Say what?
Who can you contact to contact him directly?
Bro, what do I should I call his mom? I mean, come on. He's a grown man. He got a text and I got a call. What else can I do? I'm not going to contact someone else to contact
Email?
him. Huh?
Email?
And what the fuck am I doing? He got an email yesterday.
You just talked to him, huh?
What else? Yeah, what else is there to do? I mean, there's nothing I can do. I mean, maybe something happened. Maybe I can't make
Phil.
it. I would always give him, and not only him, everybody, the benefit of the doubt that something maybe more important happened. That he can't get to the phone, you never know,
Yeah.
Sad. It's sad because I really wanted to, because I've been trying to get him on for almost 3 years now.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well, then-
and he kept telling me the whole time, yeah, I want to finish the documentary and wait after the documentary, and I said, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that would have
Well,
been
cut this part and then we start the new one. Like it's not planned.
no, we're going to keep this part. Why would we cut this one?
Well, so why
What?
mention-
What? Why mention it? Why we talking about it?
Yeah, no. Okay. All right.
What am I going to
Okay.
do?
Who can we get on real quick?
I mean, got to keep it real, right?
Keep it moving.
Yeah. Hey, New York
Hey,
Pro.
you just cut out.
Who I did?
Yeah.
All right.
New
So,
York Pro. Well, Martin Fitzwater is making it a little bit more interesting because he looks like he's thickly muscled that he can, possibly impress with the size, and conditioning is getting even better. And he has no weaknesses and probably has better legs than Nick, right? So, of course, Nick is overwhelming. I don't think it's going to be even a question. I don't know if you've seen Nick's pictures with Buddhism today on Instagram. I believe that's probably not the recent one because Buddhism looked like ripped to pieces. He actually is making Nick look soft.
so what do you mean?
Nick is not soft
Is the one from today?
today, yeah.
How do you say his name?
Buddhism.
Milos.
Buddhism.
Yes. Yes. Come on.
Hey, I'm not MILOS. I'm Milos.
You
That's
Mishko.
a German. It's supposed to be Buddhism. No?
So are you talking about the lat spread?
Most muscular.
Most muscular. That was.
I just saw it like
Oh, that was like April 21st.
okay.
Yeah, I believe that's recent. Yeah,
Look at the difference in condition, right?
I believe that. I believe that's very recent. Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like right now.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy is ripped year round, right?
No, but he's
No?
he's always in good shape. But he's never not ripped year round. But
Okay.
he's now coming into his own in the last 2 years. I had him guest pose at my show last year. So last year he missed the qualification by by a spot.
From
He did a couple of shows. So the picture that you're talking about, that most muscular, but he's standing in front of the mirror, that was 4 weeks out.
no, he's standing most muscular right next to Nick Walker.
Oh, not this one?
Let me see.
No.
That was 4 weeks out, so that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, him and Nick together.
Him and Nick.
Yeah. I didn't pay attention where it was posted, but
Well,
yeah, and he was saying how he can't wait to stand next to Nick.
Well, that wasn't posted on his Instagram. It's somebody else. Oh, you mean this one? You talking about this one?
Yeah.
Uh,
When was that?
where is that at? I don't see it.
I was at the FIBO.
Oh, so it's
No.
FIBO?
Let me take it back. That was
Wasn't at the FIBO.
that's old because that was at the MI. That was at the MI40 gym in Tampa.
okay. That explains Nick why you're not as ripped.
Yeah, he's in Jersey.
Yeah, well, you know, they're posting it today, so I had a.
That was the last time he did the Tampa Pro. Chris, the year we were there 2 years ago. That was him. No, but now last year you could see he was bigger and better, and this year I think he's put one on top because it does look really peeled, and still massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I can show this to you guys without this.
You're supposed to have that technology to pop on a different screen.
Yeah, it's just with Instagram you can't zoom in and it stays. You know, you got to hold it. So I got this one here now. So that was 4 weeks out from the New York Pro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming.
17 seconds out.
Huh?
He looks like a 17 seconds out.
Yeah.
He can just walk on the stage.
What's his weakness? Is the waistline?
Yeah. Because with muscle growth, you know, the waist grows, you know, and unfortunately also for him, he's never had the most pleasing physique, but he's got great shape and good condition, and you can make up, like a Nick Walker, you can make up a lot with good condition. It would be great to see him stand next to Nick because I think he's really confident because he's going to bring the same things. Maybe not the arms, but overall, they're pretty much same height. Pretty much everything is the same.
You've seen Nick's back double biceps recently?
Yes.
And yeah, it looks crazy.
Yeah.
It's way bigger, improved.
Bigger, legs improved.
Yeah, legs improved too. It looked like more feathers, something you would like. You know, but you know, it's just like upper body, lower body. There is still that little discrepancy.
Right.
I hope you can
I pray
create.
for feathers.
You like feathers? That's
I pray for them for sure. Every show.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about also. Let's talk just about Phil for a second. Imagine a guy won 7 times, 2 times second, 2 times third. And then one time he was, I think, 5th. But anyway, his 3rd place finishes was like devastating. You placed top 3, and that's the greatest accomplishment, right? You know, I was nowhere even close. So the perception of, oh, the 3rd place, it's like such a down event. So I do think that he still doesn't know how to appreciate all that he has accomplished, you know, because he takes this like, oh, that's a loss. I consider you, Chris, one of the best of all time, and you're one of the uncrowned Olympias, definitely. Everybody, when you say favorite physiques, most complete, nothing missing, shape, size, yeah.
Keep going. I'm playing the background music.
Go, man, go.
Can you send the kiss in the
Oh boy.
Come on, Dennis. Yeah, everything I say about Chris, I mean it.
Yeah.
I mean,
We know it already. You said it about 100 times.
Thank you,
but
man.
no, think about this.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I say everything 100 times. Yeah, listen, Chris made it once 3rd place and celebrate. Yeah. This guy is in depression.
I made it twice.
You know, how do you explain that?
I was twice 3rd.
What? Twice
3rd.
Yeah.
Second time wasn't as funny.
Yeah, but 99 was the most prominent. 99.
What year? What was the other year you got 3rd?
02.
02.
Yeah. When Ronnie didn't look too good.
Kevin was in front of me. I don't know.
Was that the year we did the that muscle camp in Vegas?
No, we went to. We went to
and we let Ronnie off the hook.
Amsterdam. We
We
then
let
went
Ronnie off
to
the hook.
Amsterdam.
But that was after. I mean, early in the year. I think like around the June or July. Did we do that muscle camp in Vegas?
Was it 01 or 02?
I thought it was 02 when
I
Kevin looked like he would never step on stage again, and I said, "There's no way he getting in shape in the next 3 months." And he came to the Olympia and he got fucking second.
I wasn't there.
Was it 01 or 2? I think it was 01 or 2. One of them years. I don't remember
I
exactly.
don't know. Like, I wasn't there, so probably there was just elite group doing the massive.
Oh,
thing.
Yeah, no, it was
at that
it was
girl's gym.
it was yeah, Flamingo, exactly. Sean Ray is the one that put it on. That's why probably you were in there.
Oh, really?
Chris, you don't remember because you didn't make it?
Oh, of course I remember. I just remember that year.
You don't remember you
We had
didn't make
black
it?
shirts on. Yeah, we had black shirts on. I remember.
No, white shirts.
We had a black shirt with red. With the red. And was that the yellow and red gold?
what was the year you got held up at the airport? You came late.
Oh, fucking no.
Which time? He's like, no, I don't.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I think it was. I'm almost positive it was 2002
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
because he did a couple of camps. There was not only just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a white shirt and a black shirt, but I think this was a black shirt that time. Because Titus was there too.
Yeah. Chris, I forgot to say.
Dexter was there.
Yeah.
Melvin Anthony was there.
Yeah. I wasn't.
Who knows?
But anyway, Gunther should have beat you at Olympia, 2002.
Bullshit. Never should beat me.
You can't accept defeat.
Ever.
Chris cannot defeat.
Is he the best? Is he the best German competitor?
No, Dennis Wolf.
Ever?
Dennis
Huh?
Wolf. Dennis Wolf. Come on.
Dennis Wolf, yeah.
And then who?
And then Marcus Rule.
Marcus. Yeah.
And then who?
And then Gunther.
So Gunther should never beat me. What are you talking about?
Hey, that year,
He
he looked
beat
good.
you. He beat you that day. It's not like he was.
He shouldn't have beat me that day. He had the inside track.
Oh, Chris.
He beat me in the symmetry round that day, dog. Come on now.
He
You
beat-
know.
he
2
beat-
weeks later in GNC.
He won.
Yeah.
He beat Ronnie 2 weeks later or 3 weeks
Yeah,
later.
no. So, I mean, Gunther was great that year.
So if he didn't beat you,
Well,
he
listen,
didn't.
listen.
He
That
didn't
don't
beat-
mean you gotta. That don't mean your body is better. That don't mean anything.
Nobody
You
said
can't-
that. No,
You're-
you
I
absolutely.
just said he should never beat me.
He should never. You should never allow anybody like us beat you. Yes, right.
Exactly.
You should-
Exactly.
You should never.
Thank you,
Yes,
Chris.
you
Thank you,
should.
Chris, for coming off.
You should never ever leave the door open without
But
locking
if,
it.
if I'm coming from Europe, I mean, I'm making a trip over, and you sit in your butt at home.
See,
and then you get
you
up
still.
and-
What do you
That's
mean?
what I call too bad, so sad.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about that's what happened at the GNC show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you should never. You should never. You see, you should take defeat
You never
like
travel.
like a
But I'm
fucking.
just thinking when we're doing like 3 or 4 shows before that,
You're not even letting me
you
speak.
do the one show.
You should take defeat like a fucking champ, Chris.
I'm not a loser, Dennis.
I know you're not a loser, but you
So I
lost.
don't do that
But
well.
hey, you got to take an
I
L.
don't do it well. I don't
You-
care if it's fucking PlayStation.
You got to take an L sometimes. So your whole career, you fucking pissed.
Pissed off, man.
The way you just said pissed
I'm
off.
really mad.
Remind me of fucking Chris Tucker. Don't
Man, I did a little podcast with Dorian over in Spain, and I'm just sitting there like this, and he just comes off like I'm not gonna spoil it or whatever, but he just asked me some shit that threw me way off, just off the jump, just like, blah. You should see my reaction. I was just like, what the fuck
What?
was
Oh,
that?
you mean the guy that interviewed you?
Dorian, me and Dorian had a podcast.
So what did he say to piss you off?
Just threw me. I just like he never talked like that. He never asked me some shit like that.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's pretty funny. I'll let you see it first. So.
All right, but give me a little bit.
It's pretty,
Give me an example.
we're just talking about, where I'm from, whatever, and what, just asking me stuff that he probably never knew, even though we know each other for 30 years. And just in that. But he just blindsided me with some shit. It's just pretty funny. You gotta see it. Just like, there's like, talking about the Arnold Classic and shit. Just like, I was just like, the fuck was
See,
that?
when it comes to the Arnold Classics, I'm with you. You should have got at least two.
At least two,
At
man.
least two.
It's fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah, but you still bitter. You still bitter.
Ugh.
Will this ever go away, Chris?
No,
Never.
never. I'm saying never.
Milos, teach him to learn to take a loss. You can't.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You cannot go through life being bitter all the time.
I'm a grumpy, yo.
You sometimes got to look at the bright side. Okay, I lost,
Man,
but
I'm gonna relax on it one
I still
day.
got
Like,
second.
I like for it not to bug me one day. I would like for it to.
See, this would
Maybe one
be
day.
me. This would be me. I said, okay, I lost, but I still got second. I could have been fifth, sixth.
Yeah.
I always thought second was the worst seat in the house because it's like
Yeah, but not when it comes to the
your
check.
hopes are so high. Your hopes are
But not
so much higher than everybody else.
but not when it comes to the check. So the check is still better than the third, fourth, and fifth.
That's true.
That's what Sean was saying, right?
Yeah, but you understand every time I go to that show, Dennis, that I'm walking down that fucking airport aisle and it fucking hits me every time the same way.
So
That's
you did it how many years? Back to back?
10 years, I think.
The Arnold?
I did my first one 94. I skipped 95. I did 96, 97. I did 96, and I did 98, 99.
Okay, but the second places, that was consecutive, right?
Consecutive.
From when to when?
99 to 2005.
So 99 second, 2000 second, 2001 second. How was it? How
2004 second.
Yeah, but
2005 second.
Let me get to it. Let me get to it. So what was on your mind when you left California in 2002 or 2003, going back to the Arnold? As soon as you get off the plane, you get through at the baggage claim, and then what's going on? I said, man, if I don't make it, did you prepare yourself enough?
Yeah, but I was like, I thought for sure, I was like, okay. Even when Ronnie did it, I was like,
Oh, listen, we got fucked up by Ronnie. We had no shot.
yeah, I know, no, but I'm saying even when Ronnie, like, I saw Ronnie at the Olympia, and I was like, I could beat that guy.
Yeah,
I could beat.
2000?
Unfortunately, that guy did not show up at the Arnold. That guy,
And then,
that guy sent someone else.
But listen, if you're in shape there,
Yeah.
and you say you were in shape and you whatever. I know he didn't like that look. You lost 30 pounds after that show to get 3 pounds 3 months later. So who would have thought he'd do that?
I don't really think he lost that much.
Oh, he was down to my weight because
I know he was 247 at the Arnold. But in 2002,
Me too.
yeah,
me too.
but in 2002, you think he was 30 pounds? I mean, at the Olympia, you think he was 30 pounds heavier?
They said he was around 280. They were saying.
I mean, his
I knew.
247 looked
Big.
That was the best look for Ronnie.
I
Yeah,
think so
because
too.
but he never hit that one again.
Yeah.
He never hit that one again because
Why were
it was-
you always better at the Arnold than at the Olympia? Or most of the times, not all the time.
me?
Yeah.
Because that was the show I was actually that was my stepping stool that I was like, okay, I should be able to do well at the Olympia now and have that. It was just that time of the year, getting ready. It was winter, which is weird because I hate training in winter. But, and then the summer came around. I knew it was like, I felt like if I was going to do good at the Olympia, I needed to take that whole year off and just get ready for the Olympia. And that's what I was trying to do when That's what I was trying to do one year. I was like, but it was like they was always saying I need to compete at the Arnold, and I was like, oh man, I had hemorrhoids one year. I didn't do. I was it 2003, some shit like that.
At the O?
No, the Arnold. I had to set out the Arnold. Maybe it was 2006, maybe. I had set out. I was on the couch for like a couple of pivotal weeks that I needed.
How do you catch hemorrhoids?
Oh my god! Yeah, I have fucking suffered from hemorrhoids.
How do you get that though? What do you got to do?
Straining. What you got to do?
To get it.
Oh, to get it. Oh, you get it from dehydration. You get it from, not drinking enough water when you should be drinking water, but your what do you call it? I don't know what the hell the name is, but I was like, I don't know, because I was eating oatmeal. I was like, I should have been fine, but it's like for some reason, looked like a damn embryo in a damn toilet once that thing came on.
Thought you had a fucking abortion.
Yeah,
It's like
I couldn't
it's
walk.
like
Man. I was on the couch.
Chris will come out of the bathroom saying, "I just miscarriage."
I just miscarried.
Clear,
Like a straight tissue.
Clearwater, Florida. Hello?
Straight tissue.
Hello? Hello?
IRS.
Hello? Hello?
That's me.
I thought it was Phil.
Yeah, that's why I'm answering. No, usually I don't answer, but he says Clearwater, Florida. I don't know where in Florida he lives. But I have his number, and I mean, we text back and forth. So
That's the same one?
I call back.
why would I call back?
Just in case.
I don't think it's Phil.
Maybe he's
And the service in here is terrible. I have no connection to the phone unless it's over the Wi-Fi. You know?
Well.
Yeah, what can I say? Well, where were we? We were about Chris miscarriage, yeah.
It sucked, dude. I was so mad.
Yeah, I mean, I know people. I had one friend.
couldn't walk.
One friend. He suffered from hemorrhoids. I never understood what the fuck is hemorrhoids. And when he went to the bathroom, he had to take a whole roll of toilet paper with him.
Oh, you gotta
Fucking
clean around.
walk
that thing.
around with diapers and shit.
Oh man, it was so bad. I was wearing maxi pads
Oh, really?
I was putting maxi pad in my underwear. That shit sucked, dude.
Yeah, and it just comes and goes.
Yeah, my son even gets it a couple times that I talked to him, and
Oh, is that
maxi pad
hereditary?
around, and then the shrinking it down with the damn creams, and then
So is
just,
it outside or it can also be inside though, right? Damn, I can't believe we talk
always
about
explodes
assholes.
out. It always explodes out.
Oh,
You
man.
guys are talking about it. I'm keeping my mouth shut. Change the topic.
You're probably sitting on hemorrhoids right now.
Exactly. It's uneasy right now.
All right, let's get back to the New York Pros. So now, are we still? I mean, I still got Nick winning the show, hands down.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, I think
It's
that
backyard, man. It's too easy.
I think so. We have let's say Nick. Who else do we have? We got Quentin. Talk about Quentin.
It's gonna be right there. I think. I mean, I saw some like I think the final product should be better than he's been as far as size wise and fullness.
Who?
We just Quentin.
Yeah.
So we just want to see
When he's peeled, I think he's going to look great. So who else? We got Nico, Quentin, Martin, Tonio. Who else? Who we forget? Tim Budesheim. Then it's Justin Rodriguez.
he's gonna be third.
Yeah,
You think
Justin.
Budesheim's gonna be third?
Beef stew. I'm not putting them in particular order. I'm just writing down the names that we know. Beef stew, Tim Budesheim. Is Justin Rodriguez doing it? Because
he's
been
doing it.
posting like he's jumping in again. Where can he place? Where can he place in this lineup the way he is right now?
he just needs to be, dry and sucked in the stomach, and he would be competitive. Last pictures look good. Did you see it?
Yeah, but he posts pictures in the same spot where the light comes from the outside. He always looks good in in pictures. And on stage, I always see something different.
Yeah, no.
You
He
know?
doesn't need to be fooled.
His waist is all over the place now. Not sure why.
Yeah.
From the back, his back double biceps is great, but from the front, his triceps are missing. Chris, tell me this.
Yes.
You seem to know.
I am the judge of the panel.
No, just say something
Come
else.
to me.
Why is it
Oh, something else.
that people start losing body parts all of a sudden, almost to the point where it's like they totally disappeared?
Body parts.
Yeah, like
That's what it
like
is.
the triceps from
All over lats.
Oh,
yeah, triceps especially, because I see it in Justin Rodriguez. I saw
my
it.
expert opinion.
Yeah.
People say what they want is nerve damage. I don't think it's nerve damage. I think the only nerve damage you get is if you're injecting a certain substance in that area over and over and over again, and you train it. When you go to the gym and train, you're going to tear little micro tears in that muscle. So if you're putting a substance in that muscle and expect it to be able to perform through exercise, weight training, with that substance in there, how many cc's you put? Sometimes if you got a strip of muscle like this and you're putting 2 cc's in it or whatever, which is too much, it started to get like that. And then it's gonna totally like disintegrate that muscle. And people don't understand or get it that you can't keep going to the well like that and expect it to perform, expect it to look healthy. And people will say no, they don't do that, but you gotta do stuff somewhere. And most of the times people are looking to, that's why, a lot of guys do something like that just for the gram, just to get on Instagram, and they'll pin themselves all up in different places. And then people are like, oh man, that looks incredible. It's a totally different look from real muscle and that type of swollen tissue. It's a totally different look for me. I'm not a fan of it.
I agree with you, because I see this on several other people where you can tell, and it doesn't have to be during their career or after their career. You see it a lot, that all of a sudden body parts just disappear.
Yeah. But what
know?
people don't understand, Dennis, is that you need that for circulation as you get older. And if you do that, and then you get, you'll go through the numbness, and then you'll understand you got damaged, nerves in your system. And it's like, you're going to need that shit for functioning. You want to function when you get older. You better be able to walk, be able to use your arms or whatever, you're going to have to pay the piper.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely true, and I believe that too. So, guys, site injecting and site whatever is okay for the moment, but I guess, depending on how often you do it, I guess, I don't know. If you do it over and over and over.
Cosmetically, right before the show, if
Is
you
it?
need.
Do you think it's a difference if you do water-based or oil-based?
No,
Well,
about that.
if you ask me, yeah, it
Water
doesn't
based is gonna
If you're
crystallize.
injecting anabolic agent and you're hoping for a site-specific reaction, anabolics is what does it. Now, water-based sometimes are much riskier because it's infection waiting to happen.
Crystallizes too, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen it. We've seen it with the Winstrol and test suspension. Way too many abscesses and infections. Some of formulations have that like acetone, like the alcohol, and that swells the tissue more.
I,
So
I see what you're saying. The water base is easier to get infected, and it's more involved with pain. But I'm talking about in the long run with the muscle atrophying. Is that easier to happen with oil-based stuff or with water-based or both?
it's both. But it's listen, even whatever else is
So hard to
the needle, right? You go to the tissue, and then fibrosis happen, and so you get the fibrotic tissue. So muscle is no more flexible and normal. It's now becoming
healthy,
and more and more and more, and then becomes dead.
I know, but then shouldn't bodybuilders run around with no ass?
Well, you get the hump on the top.
Well, yeah, because of
Well, but
that's the biggest.
It's such a
chunk of meat you have.
I know it's the biggest part, but it's also the biggest liters will go in there, pints will go in there.
King horns on the.
I know, but isn't that the exact opposite then?
But I mean,
that's scar tissue though, and that scar tissue will go away. And you've seen people who had that damage there where they.
I still have a scar tissue on my ass.
Yeah, but it's from an abscess. When you get an abscess cut out, that's a different scar, a different hole. I'm not talking about ground zero. I'm talking about
But it's I got it. It's a different tissue, and you're not working your ass like you do a tricep or a calf or a bicep, right?
I don't know if that makes sense.
Not working it. It's a different type of tissue. Your calves are a different type of tissue. It's like so tough as far as like you walk on your calves all the time. So that's a different type of muscle tissue than it is in your glutes.
No.
Whoever injected the calf, they know it hurts like an MF. Yeah, you can walk.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's easy to ask.
when it's 3 inches long and 3 inches wide, that's the only time you're like, okay.
We're waiting for Phil to hop on now, so look out for it because it just.
Is he coming on?
Yeah. He just got out the hospital, so he still wants to come on though.
Hospital.
Yeah. So that's why I don't speak because you never know. You never know. Some serious things were way more important than a stupid ass podcast at the other side. So I want to make sure everything's good. He's coming on. That's something that I realize on a lot of people, and nerve damage, my ass. Well, how come you get nerve damage at the same body part at both sides at the same time?
Both sides. Yeah.
So that sounds a little bit suspicious to me. And
can be in the back. Can be down the.
Yeah. I mean, I had nerve issue. I had a nerve issue at one point, and it was only on one side. When I was doing triceps extensions, I was fucking weaker, way weaker than the other side. It was for a couple of weeks, and they found out it was in my neck. So there was a pinched nerve in my neck, and that somehow, it didn't hurt anywhere. It was just weak for a few weeks, where all of a sudden, like I was half as strong as the other side, which was not normal. So I know these things happen, but they don't happen on both sides. I mean, if you lose both triceps to the point where your shoulders stick out and it looks like your shoulders are fucking blown up with juice because there's no triceps. They say this on RAMY, where I know he's not shooting the shoulders, or not anymore for years. You know what I'm saying? And they still, because the triceps has disappeared, it makes the shoulder look so a little more dominant. And that's when they look like, shooting up the shoulders. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Man, people do that just to go to a bodybuilding show. So, man, you already know. I've seen it.
The best thing is for me when you go somewhere.
Be in the audience is what I'm talking about.
When you go somewhere, there's bodybuilders, and you go to a club or somewhere, you go to the bathroom, you hear them in the fucking stall next to you pumping up before they come out. Then they're doing push-ups on the toilet bowl.
Oh, we love these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it.
So, okay, so now we got Nick, Quentin, Martin, Tonio, Tim Bodesheim, Beef Stew, Justin Rodriguez. Are we forgetting anybody that we should mention? I really don't know. Because now we don't get the lineups no more. Because usually at this point you would know who signed up.
I thought I just seen someone that wasn't mentioned.
I'm sure we're missing somebody, and I'm going to regret not thinking about them. By the way, people keep asking me what I'm drinking. One more time, I'm drinking kombucha.
Kombucha.
This is something that I drink every day with different flavors. I'm not advertising, so they don't pay me. But I like it's good for my gut. Anybody have gut issues?
Nope.
Not at all. You don't wake up in the morning and your stomach be all making all kinds of sounds and shit.
No.
I had that for a while.
Only when I'm hungry.
Not pain. No, I never had that. I never had issues when I'm hungry. I don't feel it. I'm just starving. But now, for a period, I was waking up and my stomach was just making fucking noise. And then someone told me, everything that happens in your body comes through the gut. So you can fix a lot with your gut. And he told me to drink bone broth. And kombucha, that stuff like this. And so I started drinking bone broth. I kid you not, I buy bone broth every 2 weeks. And
Bone broth.
Bone broth.
I had some of that too.
Bone broth every morning, 1 glass, gone. Immediately. It didn't even take 3 days to disappear.
How many ounces? 6 or 8?
Maybe 6, maybe maximum 6, 4 to 6. That shit ain't tasty. It's not tasty, but it helps. It helps. And 1 kombucha every day. Take good shits too.
Oh, been pretty regular lately. Pretty cool. Had issues back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that led to some of my.
Do you use a lot of painkillers?
Steroids. Before.
That's where you constipated.
Yeah.
Because I heard that stuff like Percocet and all that Vicodin, all that shit.
Dennis, when I was in the hospital, this is gonna be the last little thing I'm gonna say. When I was in the hospital and I was getting the drip of the antibiotics. Oh, the antibiotics was like, and it was constipating me. And then I had to do this 3 times a day for 6 months.
Oh, really?
And when it was coming out, it was like that.
Oh, no wonder you got a hemorrhoids.
3 times a day. No, this is 2000. This is when I was under hospital care from the infection. My spinal.
6 months. You
3 times a day.
You were in the hospital for 6 months?
I was in hospital care and getting that drip. I did 3 months.
So you had to go in every day.
I don't think I needed the second one. I think they just did that just for the money.
Oh, shit.
I was just like, I was pissed. I didn't want to eat because like I knew that was going to happen like 1 hour after I finished eating. Here. Yeah. So I went through a lot, man. Sure.
Yeah. See, people don't know. See, it's the same with Phil. I watched a documentary and people don't know on the outside what people go through. Just winning the Olympia alone, the pressure that you get. Okay, he's coming on now.
What do you think? What do you think about people doing a smiling salt before they fucking do a lift? You ever did that?
No.
Me either. That's some bullshit. Why would you do that? You did that, Milos?
Sorry, what?
Smiling salt
yes.
before you.
All right, hold on. Phil, can you hear us?
Hi, Phil.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just to make sure, are you okay? Everything?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay, okay, because...
Sure?
I would just get my shoulder checked out.
Oh, okay. All right, because we be like, where's Phil? What's happening? I said, listen, I don't want to trash him now for not coming on because you never know. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. So I'm glad everything's good. And
I appreciate
thank you for making this possible because I've been waiting for your ass 3 years to come on. I just told them earlier. I told them earlier, I said, for 3 years, you keep telling me, that you want to wait till this documentary is over. So now the documentary is finally over. I watched it. I watched it and I already text you. I said, I loved it. I had parts in the documentary, and Chris, you will see what I'm saying when you watch it finally. And he had me in there, and I'm like.
There's onions being cut.
yeah.
You're like, who's cutting onions?
And I tell you, especially what the part that
That's
hit
the
me,
realness.
the part that hit me the most was to see your dad in the bed at the end.
Yeah, dude.
And then
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what the hell is he going through right now? And then I'm thinking about my parents. I still have both my parents, so I know all this is still ahead of me somewhere. I hope in the far future. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's so when you and when you get older, you get softer. You get more emotional with things.
It's
So-
weird. It's weird, man. Yeah.
So watching you go through all this is telling me, I was like, fuck, this dude was way harder than I thought he could be. You know?
Well, I
for
appreciate
real.
that.
No, for
Yeah.
real. Because I just said before you hopped on, I just said nobody knows what a champ, and it doesn't matter if you win or not, but as a 7-time Mr. Olympia, what you really go through. The pressure that you don't show to the outside because, you know, you just want to beat yourself. So it was unbelievable.
And his parents was really close and supportive of him. I remember seeing them at the Ironman. First time I saw him at the Ironman when you won the Ironman that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to see. So Chris, you got to see my mom and my stepdad. A lot of people got to see my mom and my stepdad, but not a lot of people to see my real father. And my real dad, who Dennis is talking about, that was like, man, like, you know, I grew up in that time where people, you know, just like now, like people get divorced, right? And then of course kids kind of get, I wouldn't say left behind, but my father just went on his own path, right? And then my mom met my stepfather, and then he basically raised me along with my mom, where I would see my dad kind of like on weekends, special events. He never missed a birthday, Christmas, stuff like that, but like, you know, just didn't connect on a normal basis. But when I was competing in the Olympia, he was there, right? So he was there. In fact, we have a photo, which is pretty wild now, of my biological father standing next to my stepdad, which is pretty awkward with my mom. Yeah,
Who
you
do
know,
you run to at that point?
yeah, it's like, interesting. So you got, you know, stepdad, dad, mom. You got Pawnee, his wife, my ex-wife, her son.
Oh, everybody.
My stepmom, who's also passed on. So my biological father who passed, his wife has passed on too. And then you got my brother and a couple other people. And I was just like, I have to give shout out to Robin Chang for making that happen, because, you know, everybody goes through similar. Everybody's going to go through a parent, you know, passing away. Everybody's going to, you know, go through different things. And we've all been to Olympia. How often do we get a picture with like all of our people at that one point in time, and then to be able to reflect and look back and be like, yeah, you know, that was a point in time where, yeah, you know, I was married, her son, you know, Honey, his wife, you know, like, whoa, that's crazy. But yeah, with my father, man, it still gets me even then. It's like in the doc, I'm like, man, like I do the premieres, right? We had a premiere in at the Arnold UK, and we had one recently in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And that was, I mean, to sit through that, my wife, Cherie, she was just like, I know we have another one, but like, I don't know if we could sit through that again. And it's one thing, and I'm sure, Dennis, you probably have a nice setup in your house, you know, to watch it, you know, watch films. Having that type of environment is everything. And that's what pulls the emotions out. When I hear people say, oh, I watched your doc, I'm like, did you watch on your phone doing cardio? Because
then
you're only going to get so much out of it. If you watch it on the laptop, you're only going to get so much out of it. But when you're able to sit still and leave the phone off for a little bit, I guarantee you there's going to be something in that damn thing that's going to be very, very relatable to you. And then for those people like yourselves, like we've all known each other for over 10 years, you know, at least knowing you guys. I'm now thinking, shit, it's been 20 years.
20 years, yeah. Yeah, shit. We old as hell, bro. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years. I retired 12 years ago.
Fuck, dude. That's crazy.
I had to,
Yeah.
I had to let you beat my ass before I left.
See, and you know
Yes.
what's funny? That's why I left when I did. 'Cause I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna let one of these other cats. Nah, but
Yeah. So, but when you look at the documentary yourself, is this
Yeah.
what you expect it to be, or was it better?
I think it's better.
Yeah.
Here's why. Because I think, well, I know. So let me backtrack. So when we did the doc, it took a long time to create, right? We were already finished in 2019. We were like, oh yeah, we're done, this and that. And then we're like, it feels kind of empty. Could there be something else? And then COVID hit. And we're like, everybody's going to be doing documentaries during COVID, talking about their experience. What would it look like if we started journaling a potential comeback during 2020? And I was like, it'd be pretty fucking dope.
Was that the reason for the comeback, or was it you
That
anyways?
was part of it. It was part of it because I would say a lot of it was the fact that I knew after that second surgery, I was like, okay, how is this going to play out? Like, what do you really like this? Because you remember, I don't know if people remember, I wasn't at the 2019 Olympia. I didn't even go. I wasn't there. And I needed to understand what that felt like as just like, oh, I'm a civilian now. Like, I'm just chilling. What does that feel like? And I was like, I kind of feels like shit, you know, like, and arguably for myself, I was like, I could have competed pretty well at that show. But then I'm like, you still may have another opportunity. So once that came about, I'm like, all right, well, just start training again. Just start seeing if this is what you really want to do. And then when the opportunity came with the doc, we had to sit down. I was talking to Danny Garcia, and actually it was Dwayne that really changed my outlook on it. And he was like, Phil, like, you have yet done a show where people could just see you, like, just see you. Like, I was like, what the fuck you mean? And he was like, no, you just need to let them see you in a vulnerable state. And because you are, and through this doc, it's going to be about you competing just for you. You're not going to compete for your wife. You're not going to compete for the haters. You're not going to compete because no, you're just going to do it just for you. And no matter what happens, you're going to wave. And I was like, okay, like had to sit with that for a minute because I'm a highly competitive person and it didn't feel good. But then I had to say, well, I'm a very analytical person. So I'm like, let me write it down. Like, all right, if I win, you get 8. You're going to leave with 8. Like, everybody's going to be like, what the fuck? Come back for 9. But if you win 9, you're going to stop at 9. I'm going to have everybody saying, just go for 10. Fuck. And I was like, okay, what if I win 8, lose 9? I'm going to still come back to try it one more time. No matter how I looked at it, it was like another 3-year commitment that I just was unwilling to do. I just didn't feel like it was for me. I just felt like being tight with Schwarzenegger is something that no one else can say.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you got Lee, but no one's standing next to him at 7. And I thought, well, the worst case scenario is that you're stuck at 7. Is that really bad?
No.
Like, is that really bad?
Yeah.
And then to be quite honest, to then walk away with my health. There's that part.
Right. That's always a win.
Like God, thank you. Like, for real. Like, to go through all of that. The only things I've had wrong outside of the 2 hernia surgeries, which is a big deal, was a torn MCL. That's all. That's it. Everything else has been fine. Like, I get x-rays done. I probably have like 2 subluxations in my neck, and that's at stage 1 and 1 is stage 2. That's perfect for what I went through, because stage 3 and 4 is where you're fucked, but I've already lost all the weight, so I'm not carrying that same type of mass, and I don't train the same way. So I've managed to make it work. But to really answer the question, the expectations with the response, I did not see that. Everything's been positive. Every fucking comment has been like, I teared up, I cried, I'm a dude. I'm a man's man. I don't cry for shit. And you had me in tears, bro. What the fuck did you do to me?
Mm-hmm.
I never knew this about you. Never knew what you and your wife went through individually and together. What did it take? I have a new greater respect for bodybuilding. Hey, Phil, know nothing about the sport, knew nothing about who you are, but I just happen to love documentaries, and I'm rooting for you in life. And I'm like that's exactly what I know the director Brett Harvey wanted, is that this is not what people would initially think. It's like, oh, this is just Phil getting ready for another Olympia. It's like, nah, man, this is where I get to open everything up, and you can see all the darkness, all the vulnerability, and then, you know, get up on stage, but then also see the other competitors, you know, like I didn't expect Jay Cutler to speak the way he did. I didn't expect Steve Weinberger to speak the way he did. And I did not expect Kai Greene to speak the way he did. I mean, what did you think, Dennis? I mean, like, you saw it. Like,
no, but Kai, listen, that was back then. You guys were competitors. You guys were going against each other. It was like do or die. You know, of course you think different. You know, now it's been, 10 years? Or let's say when that was filmed, it was like 8 years later. He understood. You know, he knew what was going on. I mean, Kai, it's not like Kai is a destroyed man. He just decided not to come back. But yeah, I would expect nothing else from Kai, to be perfectly honest, because at the end of the day, you know, it's with all of us before. We would you know, when we get to the Olympia, we would shake hands maybe and don't talk to each other until prejudging is over. And then we start loosening up again, you know, because there's not much more to do right now. So then all of a sudden, everybody's cool again. And then you get on a tour together, everybody's fucking hugging it out. But before that, motherfucker, I'm shit, you know. I'm trying to beat you.
Hey, Phil, Dennis got me involved with doing the podcast stuff. And even when there was some hurdles and shit, he didn't let me give up on it. He was still like, hey, we're going to make this shit happen. And we wasn't the best of friends. Let me just tell you, we were not the best of friends. We competed. Like,
well, we never even got a chance to get to know each other.
Didn't.
You know, because of competitive career. You know, that was Chris.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we never really we weren't close. You know, and I see him hi and bye, and we don't have anything to do. But listen, that was fucking 10, 15 years ago. 15, almost 20 years ago. Chris, we even older than Phil. God damn.
The only thing,
you know, because this is over with. You know, I'm still celebrating that I beat Chris 2 or 3 times in my life. That's enough for me. I have no.
Three?
I have.
It was 2. Was it 3?
I have no.
It was 2.
I was when you at the
once
Olympia.
in Hungary and once when you slipped me a Mickey and
what
in England.
You full of
he
shit.
He fucking didn't want to give me water pills.
Phil, can you imagine?
Wait right
can
here,
you imagine? Can you imagine?
I'm in a fucking lobby for like 3 hours.
Can you imagine his story?
Oh, here he comes.
Hold the finger on the mute button for Chris just for a second, just in case. Can you believe this story? He says it every time. There's no way in hell that he asked me to give him a water pill. I would say, okay, I'm going to go up and bring it back, and then don't show up. He never asked me. I don't know who he asked, you know.
Oh, shit.
And Chris, see?
Milos, where were you at when this happened?
Yeah, I don't know, but
where were you at, Milos?
I would never
you would have given him a... Hey, hold on. Phil. One time, Chris accused me that I didn't bring him insulin.
You didn't. You had a guy trying to beat me. That's what they would do, Phil. They would fucking sabotage my
Chris,
shit.
how can somebody sabotage you when you your own man? You're responsible for your own shit.
I was taking a laxative. But hey, I was just listening. First, Phil, I've seen your documentary.
You ever seen Three Grumpy Old Men? This is us.
Wait. Yeah, I watched it twice. First, I mentioned to them, I didn't know once you buy it that you have to, in 48 hours, you have to finish it. So I thought
you rented it. You rented it.
Yeah, I rented it. Yeah. So I rented again. And then went all the way from the beginning, just what I missed. The scene with the father.
You could have bought it. You rented it twice.
No, but I mean, yeah, I could. Probably I'll end up buying it.
You have to buy it now. Yeah.
But listen, the scene with your father was, outstanding. The Jay, Kai, Steve Weinberger, what they were saying, it goes deep. And now we had a Ronnie and Jay rivalry, and then you and Jay for a while, and then you and Kai. Kai beats you initially a couple of times before, right? So he would feel like, yeah, he can be the one. But you took over and you would just not let go. And whatever he was trying to do, it was just still not good enough. And he gave you that credit. But like Jay and Ronnie were pushing each other to be better. That's what you and Kai did. He brought you to that next level.
Absolutely.
Good question. Question for Chris and Milos. Who had the best and biggest rivalry in the sport of bodybuilding ever?
I mean, there was you can't say
for me, no doubt. For me,
you
no
can't say
doubt.
Sergey and Arnold because they didn't have that many. But then there was Gaspari and Lee Haney, right? That was like back to back.
No chance.
It was not. And then there was Ronnie and Jay.
Not
really.
close. Not close. Phil and Kai was the biggest one. Because it was real.
No, I gotta say real quick. I gotta jump in because I agree. People have asked me like, so what do you think? Because people say about Jay and Ronnie, I'm like, they were actually friends. They were still cool. Like, they were cool on tour. Like after the Olympia and stuff. I've seen the photos in Flex magazine, Muscle and Fitness, of them, hanging out in, Budapest, Hungary, and all this other shit. They would guest pose at Steve's the Atlantic States, and Jay would jump on Ronnie, and he'd pick him up and stuff.
Yeah.
Kai and I would have never done that, and our fans hated each other. I've never seen Ronnie fans hate Jay's fans and vice versa. I never saw. There was never a moment where Kai and I was like, fuck you. I think it was like just the internet time where people were choosing sides. And it was before Generation Iron, because I had came out a year after I won my pro debut. He won that same show, the Sean Ray, right? Then he got the money, he got sponsors, bigger sponsors. Then he just blew up. Because if you look at his pictures from like 2006, 2007, and then after that, he just blew up. Come 2009, he wins the Arnold. 2010, he beats me at the Arnold, which I'll say it with y'all. And Chris, you were there. I was up by 3 after prejudging. I lost by 7 at the night show. Like, how does that make sense? If this was the internet age back then in 2010 with Instagram and everything else, people would have lit this shit on fire. I'm sorry?
You have a score sheet for that show?
I think somewhere I probably have it saved, but I'm no bullshit. Like, I tied for 3rd at the evening show. When have I ever fucked up a night show? You know what I'm saying? Like a one-day show? No. And lose 10. Where did the 10 points go? So my whole thing was, I remember Melly Mel and Kai's crew came up to me after that, and they were like, we already told Kai, like, you coming, so he better get ready. And I said, you fucking tell him right now, I will never lose to him again. And I feel like that was like, and it just sparked it. And when I won the Olympia, we went at it at the Cheru Classic. We were on the bus together at the Cheru Classic. And, Kai's late to everything. I know I was late today, but that motherfucker be late. There was only one seat left on that bus, and it was with me. I had my meals like right here on purpose so that no one would sit next to me. And it was all the athletes, men and women, and they're all like, ooh, like high school, like, oh shit. And he just like, and I was like, fuck it. I take my bag, I just threw it down. I was like, come on. And we're just gonna sit there, and we both just did one of these the whole time. And we noticed, I think we both noticed at that time, I could speak for him on this, that there was a lot of energy. And I don't think I never experienced that type of energy in bodybuilding with another person.
No.
I've never seen that type of energy between 2 other people. Maybe I don't know. You guys should speak on this because you guys were around him. Maybe Craig Titus and King Kamali. Maybe that.
Nah,
but like,
not even close.
but this was real. If Kai Green showed up at my doorstep right now, I'd be like, "Are you here to fight or are you here to love?" Like it's still like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But we know it's love, and I feel through the documentary, it allowed him a chance to express himself in his most authentic, vulnerable form of how he felt in that time. And I did the same. I flat out said it. I fucking hated him. You know? And what do you hear me say now? Fucking love the guy. Why? Because we pushed each other. That dude, you know, he had standards. And look, I think right now I think we're jumping ahead, but we're in a point in time right now in bodybuilding, especially open, because that's what I can talk about. I can't really talk about other divisions, but I can say this with open. I don't feel that energy from these guys. I haven't seen another person with that type of consistency of fire and can put up the numbers. The only person I've seen do it is maybe Nick and Hadi. That's it. That has like some, you know, something, but it's not. I don't think we'll ever see it again between guys like Kai and myself because we were just different, man. We collided at the perfect time, man. If it wasn't for me, let me ask you guys, if I wasn't around, how many would he have won? Because I think it would have been a lot.
Who, Kai?
Yeah. I think it would have been a lot. And it would have been easy.
It would have probably been close to 6, 7.
Yeah, it would have been easy, in my opinion.
Well, we can't even say that because at that time he would have won for sure because he got second. But we don't know how long he could have.
Do you think Rami might have beaten him in, was it 2017, Phil?
That's tough, man, because I think that's Ramy's best. I still think that was his best. That was his best. Like people say 2020, I'm like, he was harder.
with the body parts, all the back was
like
still
everything
there.
Banging
triceps,
on, like everything banging on 2017. That was rough for me. I was like, shit.
Well, we were in Kuwait that year and training for you, Phil. I remember that shit like the back of my hand. And it's like, it was some real shit, dude. It was real. You know, just watching the whole thing and, you know, and going to the show and being like, okay, you know.
Got this motherfucker.
Yeah, we're going to get him this time because shit, you know, I could see 5 weeks out. I'm like, okay, Phil ain't got this. We ain't got these shoulders.
Phil,
we ain't got this width.
Were you always informed after prejudging where you at?
No. In fact, no. Flat out no. I didn't even try talking to Hani about this shit because I knew he would probably tell me if it was the opposite, which he did in 2018. He did tell me in 2018, he was like, man, this ain't looking good. I was like, what the fuck? I thought we did. Never mind. All right, whatever. But all those other years, it was just more like, it would be like, hey, make sure he comes in fuller or tighter or whatever. And I'm like, no disrespect to any judges and stuff, but even Chad Nichols didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And Chad's smart as hell. Chad would be thinking, oh, he must have filled up, you know, on Saturday because he looks bigger. We just didn't eat that day. And I looked bigger. My body was just different, man. Like we would show a different illusion because we knew that the type of muscle I have is just different, right? The separation I have is just different. These guys, especially Ramy, I used to always think that, like, obviously Ramy walking around town, I mean, is Mr. Olympia. You know what I mean? Like you say, that motherfucker is Mr. Olympia. And I used to always expect him to listen to too many people. And I got a little, you know, I wouldn't say nervous, but I was like, I wonder what he's doing now that Chris is there. But then I used to always think, like, if Chris is there, he's going to be all right. But, like, who else is there?
12 others.
Who's really
12 others.
Too many people. Too many other people.
The last,
I'm like,
last 2 weeks, I hardly even see him.
Yeah, so I already knew. I was like,
okay, well, now, you know,
he might get cheats, bro. Like that's how I looked at it. Like I was like, he's probably gonna fuck this up. And I remember when Jay competed, like his last show, right? Jay I know Jay was not happy with how it went, like how it went down for him, because it was like that was it. But I remember him telling me, he goes, if that dude ever gets shredded, all you motherfuckers are losing. I was like, damn. He just said it just like you know how Jay is like, he just said it and walked off. I was like, so you talking about me too? And I'm thinking,
You talking about me?
I'm like, so I had to like go home.
I had that conversation with you, Phil. Remember when we had lunch at one point, and I told you if Rami, and even you said it that day, you said if he ever puts it together, it's over for all of us.
Oh, I think it was when you and I and Cherie were having lunch one time.
No, that was before. I'm talking about in Arizona one point.
Oh yeah.
We had lunch. I think it was an expo there somewhere. Something I don't remember.
Yes.
You always said it. But you also you were very confident that for him, in order for him to put it together, he needs to stop listening to people.
I only said that because, see, I know what it feels like to have people that will like enablers, right?
Yeah.
You grow up, you play basketball, this and that, and then you watch how other people, like, especially for me, growing up playing hoops, I always knew of other pros and how they were treated and how everybody's like telling them this and telling them that. And then you have the one kid that everybody's like on his ass and like trying to groom him and stuff, and he fucks it all up.
Yeah. But this brings us to a perfect question, because you're sitting right here, right now. So now, when you watch Rami, we all can agree 2017 was a great Rami. 2020 was probably the best conditioned Rami.
Yes,
when you just judge
so.
just the condition. But where do you see Rami now? I mean, we saw him winning the Olympia 2 years back to back. He came back in 22, lost the Olympia, got 5th place, which we've never seen before. Somebody go from 1st to 5th. Yeah. Now, where does a Rami go from now? I mean, he's supposed to guest post next week in Pittsburgh. Where do you see Rami in this era right now? Does he have another shot, or you think that the train is gone?
See, what I think and where they're going are two different things.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him. I didn't expect the 2022. I didn't have him 5th.
Right.
I'm like, well, but then where would you have had him, Phil? Like maybe 3rd. Like you didn't have him winning. And then I was like, all right, scratch that, right? But to go along with history. Still Mr. O, man. Like, come on, dude. 5th?
Right.
That's bad. So what message are we really sending? And I was commentating the first time ever, so I didn't really hear what was going on, nor did I ask. I didn't go up to you guys and say, hey, what did you hear? I was just going online and people were like, oh yeah, well, his legs are this and this and that. And I'm like, okay. But he's had these same legs even when he was in Brazil competing. He had these same legs when he won the fucking Olympia twice. Mm-hmm. Why? And I answered it for myself, which a lot of people don't realize. I've been saying this shit for 10 fucking years now. And that is, when you win, what do people do? They use a different micro lens now.
Yeah.
They use a much stronger lens now. That shit been there this whole entire time, but yet when you were using that lens on me, you weren't looking at him. So now you've seen him more, and now he is your standard. So now you're doing, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. There's a scratch on the hood. There's a nick on the tire, on the wheel. But we're talking about a Ferrari. You going against fucking Honda Civic or something. You know what I'm saying? Like you going to tell me, and that's how I used to think of it. And when I would say it, people online would be like, oh, Phil's just being bitch. It's like, no, dude, I'm telling you, it happens with every multiple champion, especially in open. No other category has this. It's all about the open when it comes to this. Ramy wins the first one. He's ripped, right? But I'm going to keep it real. The reason why we all say 2017 was better is because he was more complete. And that's why when he was doing his poses, what was his best pose on that 2020? Fucking side shot. When have you ever seen a 300-pound man hit a side shot being his winning pose? Ever. It's always been front double, back, or most muscular. He didn't even hit him. Like, think about it. If you go online right now and you look at the Ramy's winning poses and stuff, when I say winning pose, like the pose that they said, this is your new Mr. Olympia, it was a side chest. That's fucking crazy. That's usually dedicated to the guys that are shorter, like myself, and can twist a little bit. He is wider than everybody, and his front double ain't beating everybody's ass enough to where that's his favorite pose that from the judges? No. From the photographers? No. So that's why he probably lost. But then my question is, he does the Arnold Classic, and I'm going to get to the answer while we're talking about it. He does the Arnold Classic in what, 2023?
Yeah, so literally 4 months later, or 5 months, 4 months.
4 or 5 months later, right?
And he got fourth.
Fourth. Why?
Yeah.
So I'm not going by, I'm just going by what I was seeing. If you said, hey, he's got some knots in his legs, this, that, and the other, right? He says, okay, I've had this problem. I need to go get stem cells done. He gets that done. We all know what they can do because there's other people in our sport that have gotten it done. Hell, I had a torn MCL. I got stem cells done. And it helped. I got to go get it done again, but it's going to help again, right? Why did he get fourth?
Yeah.
Because when I saw the Arnold, I wasn't like sitting there. I was watching it in a green room. Bro, I thought he spanked everybody. He walked out. I was like, this is a joke. Like, it's a wrap. So I don't know where he goes from here. I think some things will answer themselves come in Pittsburgh. I definitely believe that he's got to probably stop with the old school pictures and videos that him and his team will post.
Yeah.
Tricking your mind into guessing when that actually was. If I'm in Ramy's camp, and Ramy knows when I lost in 2020, my last Olympia, I told him, and you can ask him, I said, because he was like, oh, I love you, brother. And I said, man, congratulations. I said, but if I was fucking on, I would have won this show. So you have to promise me that you're going to come in better next time. And I'm saying this to motivate him to say, look, man, like, it's great to win one, but it's even more great to win many. And he's the only one, in my opinion, that he could have had a string of them if he were to, like, when he would be at your house, dialing it in. Like, I know that shit was painful for you to have him do that shit. For him, that should have been like, I expect to be taught like this. And all it takes is for me, I'm the type of guy, if you guys would have beat my ass in the gym one fucking time, that would have been the last fucking time. Because I would have been like, if I'm training with Chris, hey, this is what he's going to do. He's going to whoop my ass. He's going to try to embarrass me. Dennis, Milos, same shit. I see Milos training these guys, and I'm like, man, if I was in my prime Milos, I'm going to tell you right now, you would have whooped my ass maybe once or twice on each body part. And then after that, you would have been like, damn, I'm going to push this guy to where I hurt him. Because that was my mentality. I was like, I'm not going to get embarrassed. I'm not going to have this trainer fucking me up like this. Who do you think he is? But that's where Ramy has to be. So Ramy has to come into Pittsburgh, doing Instagram live, Facebook live. He got to show people live. And maybe if this is your last stand as a two-time champ, you got to be like, look, I'm two-time champ. Y'all just one time, y'all just one time trying to get two-time. Ain't no winner is coming. Motherfucker, I'm here. I'm here now. Like, he needs to like have that. And not everybody has that. Chris, you know this. Not a lot of people.
Right, for a fact.
People ain't got that gangster in them, and you were there with them, and
Right,
Dennis, you were there with them. Milos, you train a lot of guys. The way I'm speaking right now, none of your clients talk like this. None of your clients act like this. And I think that's the problem that Ramy has, to force the issue to make the judges say, you know what? He is that dude. We got to give him a better look. So if I'm Ramy, if Ramy's listening, man, I love all you guys. Seriously. But if I'm keeping it a buck, you go to Mangan's show, shake the hands, greet the fans. But when it's time to guest pose and you're up there with everyone else, you dwarf the fuck out of them. You dwarf the fuck out of them. Like, you
Go on, preach. Go on, preach.
I'm just saying, like, if you're that dude, like, you just like,
It's true. It's true.
I would do it, man. I'd be like, man, motherfucker, I'm 300 pounds. Like, whatever. Like, I could, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
You're losing to guys that like are under 235. There's no fucking way, that are short. And I love Derek and Hottie. I really do. But I'm thinking, if I'm 300 pounds, I'm going to make them fear me. Like, they have to. I'm throwing the quad in front of them, right? I'm hitting it in front of them, being like, oh, these quads is all of them. But see, this is why people miss me now. This is why people miss me now, because they know that I had that and I would put it up. And I hope that Ramy finds closure with whatever decision he makes with competing, because it may be one of those situations where he has to say, you know what? I do the Pittsburgh, I go to Olympia, and win or lose, I'm done. Maybe he has to have it like that. Maybe he just has to do that, because I don't think being quiet about it is enough. I think he has to force the issue. I think he needs to tell the judges what he wants. I think we're only going to garner respect.
That's not him though. That's the problem.
That's not his
That's
personality.
totally different. You can't.
He's like the governor, man. He's like the governor.
Let's be real though. That's the regret that one person will have
Right.
by themselves on a plane, in their home. I mean, I've had that happen when I didn't go for something. I've had it in business multiple times. Hell, I've had it recently, like where, man, I really could have closed that deal, but I just didn't really own the moment. I just didn't really tell them what I really wanted. And yeah, I'm getting paid, but like I really could have got more. And we've all been there. Like you can charge someone for an appearance and stuff and be kind of hesitant and not being you, and then you sell yourself short.
Yeah,
we've all done it. Everybody's done it. But for him, I get it, man. But what else is there? You want to be Sugar Shane Mosley or Mayweather? That's what I used to tell myself. I'm like, what's the difference? One's 50-0, one's a nice guy.
Yeah.
No, one's a nice guy. You know? I don't know.
True.
Hey, I was gonna say, one before we get too far.
Milos didn't say a single word today.
I want to hear Milos real quick. Chris, hold on.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I mean, I'm appreciating everything. I'm a huge fan. Listen, I said that many times. Not too many people have that champion mentality like you do. I do know that you came like 2006, won you a couple of shows just like Flex Wheeler did. But then you were patient enough, 2007, 2008, like in your documentary, you didn't go to the Olympia. You know, you have a time, you're not ready yet. You're in highly subjective sport. Okay, so champion mentality, like you said, I can beat you, Chris, in a gym, and you, Dennis, and me, you know, in a gym, because that's objectively, you're going to just crush us. But you're going to subjective opinion of a few people, judges, they're going to go against somebody. And you're a genetic gift by all means, but you were like kind of narrow initially, right? Mm-hmm. So that was a huge thing going against, I mean, plain and simple, Jay said he was beating you because he was wider initially, right? And that width was like Ramy's, you know, such a strength.
Right.
But throughout the years, you did develop the physique that, damn, I mean, your shoulders were so full and round, and that most muscular is, I really always, you know, come on, Dennis, let me give him some praise.
I just played the background music.
He's, I'm not kissing ass, I'm just admiring.
Dennis knows. Dennis is giving me a hard time.
I never had a chance to say, because let me tell you this, I watched all the shows, but I left to Europe in 2011 and I didn't come back until 2017. So I didn't see you. I missed all of it. I missed Phil Heath on the stage all these years.
Oh, you didn't see him at all?
2017 when I came back, that was the first time.
So you missed the first 3, 4?
I missed all of that. Yeah.
You missed a good.
This is why I'm saying. But for me as a fan, I'm looking at this physique. I said, this has to be a fucking Photoshop. But it's not a photo, it's a video. So he's actually moving. That's actually him. It's a, you know, side chest. Shit is hamstring, quads. I'm a quad guy.
Yeah.
Who has a complete legs with the crazy calves, crazy hamstring, crazy glutes, crazy quads, separation, feathers. Holy shit.
All right. That's enough. Now it's my turn now, okay? Hold on.
And then I have
Milos had a question though. Hold on. Look, I think
my question was,
get to the damn question then. You just
fuck. Well, first,
I'm gonna hit the traffic.
First I have to give him praises because
I'm gonna get a button too.
He's that good. He's Phil. I actually don't think that you appreciate yourself enough. I'm telling you. I think that you know what you accomplish and all that stuff, but you're not overwhelmed. you are that one of the kind. Damn, you should be really beyond happy with everything you have accomplished. But I was talking about mindset.
What's the
mindset.
question? What's the question, Mr.
Okay,
Chacha?
get in there. How can you, in subjective sport, bodybuilding, come back to year after year and really dominate? The way I look at you, you didn't even question if Kai has a chance. You were going on that stage. There's no contest.
Right.
I could sense that.
Right.
And Kai was dangerous beyond belief.
Oh yeah. No, he was. Very
And going to 2017 Olympia, this behemoth like Ramy with the shoulders twice as wide. Holy shit. But you were beating him. And even on the stage, this is the first time I look at you live. Like, goddamn,
Did you, now be honest, Milos, be honest. Did you see Phil winning or Ramy winning that year?
I said Ramy could have won on the basis of wit and all that stuff.
That's not the question. The question is, did you see him winning or not?
No, I see Phil winning.
Okay, that's
all
all right.
I see how yes, Ramy is wider, so he's going to be more dominant in the front last spread. He's going to be more space covering, but then you like Phil said, get the microscope and dissect this goddamn quality, goddamn fibers everywhere, tie-ins and all this shit.
Where were you sitting when you watched him? How far back?
I actually post all my pictures.
I know, but how far back were you sitting?
Quite close. Quite close.
Were you looking at the stage or at the screen?
Stage.
Okay,
Stage.
because now
Because it's the first time I'm watching Phil Heath fucking. I watch him in Iron Man, but that doesn't count.
that counts too.
You know?
But listen, now I'm going to tell you what I felt. I seen Phil from the beginning. I saw him every year. The first couple of years. No, I think when was your first one? Yeah, I know, but the first one was what, 2010 or 9?
The first what, Olympia?
Yeah, the first one you did.
08.
You did the first one 08. So I competed against you in 3 Olympias.
Okay.
But then I got to watch him. When I retired in 2010, now I get to see things you don't see when you stand next to the person. I get to see, and I remember there was a specific years where we all sit in the first, it was Tony Doherty, it was Chris, I think you were there. We were sitting there, and Phil comes out. And you know, these are all great champions, don't get me wrong. But Phil shut this motherfucker down after 4 poses. He did the front double. He did the lat spread. He did the side chest. He turned around and he milked the double biceps to the point where he said, you can get up and just, Phil, you know what I'm talking about because it shows what you, I know exactly what's in your head. I'm going to milk this shit open up. And now when you think it's done, now he squeezes and that shit starts going.
Yeah.
So it was over. So, I mean, it was for me.
Like the last scene
I've never seen this on anybody, and there's no disrespect, you know.
Nah,
I've never
it's
seen
true.
this on anybody.
Yeah.
The skin, his fucking hamstrings. Chris, you remember we were talking about it. Look at the fucking hamstrings. Look like you want to play the guitar on them.
Yeah, I like when you run your finger up the hamstring, you be like,
Yeah, he knew it. He was very
Take it off,
confident.
yeah.
He was very confident. He had a little cockiness to him. He has the right to be cocky. You're fucking Mr. Olympia. You have every right to feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Because
got to make them understand. You got to make them understand. They're paying for it.
Yeah.
To be honest, they don't know it when they're there, but otherwise it'd just be very quiet.
Yeah.
Very low emotion.
and you backed it up. That's the main thing. You backed up everything you said. Now, my last question for you is this. How much did it hurt you to lose in 2018?
Ooh. Well, I'm going to answer both. I want to get to Milos's question because I know he wasn't talking a lot. Real quick on the mindset. The mindset was they don't know what it took for me to get here, right? And I did it with some help with obviously my trainer, but he wasn't there every day. He was very rarely there because I lived in Colorado. He was in California. I trained by myself and I did it late at night. And sometimes I do it during the day, but you can ask anyone at Armbrust Pro Gym, how many times did you see Phil Heath with a training partner? They say never. And why is that? I was raised as an only child, and I was always taught to just get it done yourself. If you don't need a full-on rah-rah team, like, you can get this shit done yourself. And I felt like I was more formidable to my opponents because Ramy's got Chris, he's got Badr, he's got Abdullah, he's got all these guys. He's got fans from the Middle East telling him how great he is. You got Kai usually had a coach with him every session, right? All these guys have entourages. And I understand why, because it requires a lot of, help, But I was like, Phil, one of your superpowers is the fact that you can get a lot of this shit done on your own. And it's because you were born with no brothers and sisters. You go against them on the stage, they have no more friends. Their friends are in the audience or back home watching it on TV. You get to now steal every ounce of energy. And why wouldn't I walk out there feeling like $1 million? Because motherfucker, I did all this work. No one had to fucking complain. Ani didn't have to fly in and say, hey, Phil, are you taking your gear right? Or are you eating right? Or are you doing your cardio? He ain't never had to worry about that shit because I was always an athlete. I was so afraid, Milos, that if I didn't do it correctly and I didn't push it a little further, that someone would beat me and I'd feel embarrassed. And that's what I felt like in 2018. I felt embarrassed. I felt like I should have to walk home for losing, because losing is not something I tell myself. I always know that it's a possibility. I know that it does exist, but not for me, because I'm not a loser. And I've been through so much just to get here. I mean, you guys, and I don't want to give away the doc, but that's why people have to watch the doc, because they can understand, knowing what I've endured through my life. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I have shame. I've had it all, but I found a way to make it work for me. And I'll be damned if I give up on myself when I'm being told. Like I said, Hani doesn't have to tell me. He just says, hey, 40 minutes of cardio twice a day, do this, do that, and let's touch base in 2 days. He doesn't say, and if he does catch himself because he works with other athletes, to say, hey, did you, and I go, motherfucker, do you think Phil Jackson ever looked at Michael Jordan and said, hey, did you do, he doesn't have to say it more than once. So when it came to 2018, I was already battling, coming back from 2017, because I had the hernia surgery a week after the 2017. And then they put that quarter-sized piece of mesh in. It didn't hold up until 3 weeks out, popped the whole fucking thing out. And I still, when I think about it, I remember being in the, Sheree and I were living pretty badass crib in Denver at the time. And I remember I had like this big, walk-in closet with a big mirror. And I just stood there for hours. And I was like, you could fucking lose this thing now, because this thing is starting to bruise up. And this has nothing to do with anything of what the world is going to say it is. They're going to say insulin, which you've never done. Put a lie detector test, I'll fucking take it. They're going to say it's because of, oh, you just can't hold your stomach in. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I can't feel the motherfucker. But now I have a choice. And it was 3 weeks out. I almost called up Hani and said, I don't think I should do this show. Part of me was like, there was a time where I'm staring at myself. I'm like, you should just drop out and then just call. And I'm like, fuck that. There's still money on the table. I still got to show up. And then I was like, well, let's go down the list. Who's really going to beat me? That's where maybe I was arrogant. Maybe I was cocky, but I still felt I was good enough. And, it didn't work out that night. It really didn't. And Sean had a great moment. I mean, that was obviously rest in peace, but that was one of his greatest. That was probably outside of him having a child, maybe that might have been the greatest moment of his life, and maybe many other people's lives that he impacted. And I was able to witness history there. So yeah, I didn't feel good. I hated every moment of it. I was fucking pissed, but I still gave him his props, as I should. Ain't gonna be some bitch about it. I mean, he won. They awarded him champion. I remember walking off and I got on one knee and I was like, you will not be a hypocrite by getting on your knee and saying, thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity. and not saying the same thing just because you got second. The placing doesn't matter. It's just the fact that I should honor myself for even getting there in the first place. Because if you were to ask me in 2005 if I thought I would win 7 going for 8, the answer would have probably been no. So here I am. I should just be in gratitude. So after that, I mean, I was pretty pissed. I told Ramy and Bonac, you could ask them both. I said, I'm fucking done. I'm chunking up deuces. They can have this shit. Because I think the emotions set in of like, God dang, man. Like, I felt like my body didn't heal up enough to allow myself to compete at a high level. It wasn't based on, anything but just that. And I think and I will say this, the internet is a motherfucker. So like when everybody's talking about one major thing, that's all people are going to focus on. I don't really see it any other way. Like you can't tell me that's not true. And I will give you props, Milos. Like I appreciate it because you were hitting me up on DM about like ab control and this and that. And I was trying to be cool about it, but I'm like, Milos doesn't know like the extensive surgery, like the lack of rehab. Like I couldn't touch a weight. The first surgery, because I had surgery twice. So the first surgery, I couldn't touch a weight for like 4.5 months. 4.5 months. They were like, you can walk, that's it. And I was like, fuck. That's why I didn't do 2019, oh, no. That's why when I finally did get ready for 2018, maybe it was because I didn't have the right amount of time. I probably should have taken 2 years off and maybe it would have healed better. And maybe I could
Phil,
control.
Phil, so how did that make you feel? I know the person that you are, and what you opening up more about the whole thing, going back and forth with the guy, you coming out after you won the show, and you basically on the live talking about, how you like me now, to homeboy with the bubble gut issues stuff.
Yeah.
How did all that make you feel, and why did you feel the need to go at this guy right after the show? Was it on your mind that much, or was it like?
Oh, that was 2017. That wasn't 18.
Oh, was that 17?
No, that was 17.
I don't know what year it was. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys backstory. So Louis Marco's his name, dude over in Montreal, Canada. He was definitely being employed by Bader. We already know. I got receipts on that shit. So he was basically put in a position to where he was supposed to root for Remy nonstop, talk about bubble gut shit, and created this whole army against me, right? To the point where he was actually text messaging me and my wife saying, this is not your year. No matter what you do, you're going to lose. He said that in 2017. Going into the show, he was like, it's already been done. I'm like, so that means someone's been paid. That's what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. But how would you know?
Who said that? Louis Marco said that he got paid?
Yeah. I got a DM. So he's over here on DM saying, no matter what you do, I don't give a fuck what you look like. I don't care what you look like. He didn't say it's because your stomach fell. He just said, no matter what you do, you're going to lose. So I was like, I'm keeping it cool with him. I'm just like, all right, whatever. And to be quite honest, I was letting him play that whole fucking bullshit with the bubble gut, like any kind of laughed at it. And then I got pissed about it because here's the thing that I get pissed about, Chris. Is low forehead motherfuckers.
I don't even know what that means.
We old enough to know what that means. You just dumb. Why would you guys insult a champion who beats your favorite bodybuilder day in and day out? I mean, this shit ain't even close. Because I could go on. I mean, I'm friends with all of them, but if I really wanted to put that hat on and share and use the lens that the judges used on me, on them, oh man, come on, bro. Like we would be talking shit nonstop. So I just kept it cool with him. I won number 7. Now, mind you, I had just went through, I was already hurt with the surgery. I was going to have surgery the week after. So you can only imagine the pain, but yet the adrenaline, the emotions, and I'm with my family. I'm with my now wife. I got the titles and I go on live to go share a moment with the audience. And this dude couldn't just humble himself. See, people were saying Phil needs to be humble. Why would you go try to shit on someone's parade? All you got to do is just be like, hey, man, good job. See you next year, bubble gut, blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. Like, he could have just left it at that. But he kept going. And I was like, here he go. And this was my time where I was like, you know what? One of my good friends, his name is Fairfax Hackley. You guys probably know who he is. He and I talk every now and again, and our motto is, and I'm going to have to put on a t-shirt here pretty soon. And it's going to read, be humble, but let motherfuckers know. And I was being cool. I went on my own social media to share a great moment that you're not going to see for a very long time. And just because fans think that, we're up here, we're still human. So I'm trying to engage with the fans. And when he came on there and was running his mouth after he disrespected me weeks before, saying I'm going to lose and I ain't shit and all this other stuff, and I beat your guy that you said that was going to beat me. I beat your guy. You can't just bow. I'm not saying you should bow down, but what I am saying is just leave me the fuck alone, bro. Like, give me a day. And I actually said that on that live. I said, you can't even give me a day. You can't even give me an hour. I'm over here chilling with fans and stuff. Hey, what's up, bro? And I'm over here with this, like, hey, people fist bumping me and stuff. You can't just let me have my moment. So I was like, yeah. And that's why I said, man, fuck you. Like, Bubba got this. It's like big account, motherfucker. Like, look at you. Like, you in your mom's basement. Like, what are you doing?
Bubba got these nuts. Listen.
Yeah. And Dennis, I already know you. If you was 7-time Miss Olympia and you heard some dumbass talk like this shit to you, you ain't ignoring it either. Neither you, Chris.
I've never said I would. I never said I would.
No.
But I want to get back to one thing.
Good.
So
it felt good though, Chris. And let me say something real quick. Hold on, Des. It felt good at the moment. And then a judge hit up Hani saying that Phil shouldn't do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I said, what'd you say? And he's like, what am I? He said, I told him you're a grown-ass man and they should call you. And I said, thank you, because no one in this industry has had to deal with the media scrutiny that I've had to deal with. No one. And still win at anything. And I believe there's a thing called grace. I think there's a thing called communication to say, hey, Phil, like, how you feeling, man? Where can I support you better? There was no magazines at that time that could kind of be a buffer to kind of protect the champion like they did during Ronnie's time. They called Ronnie all kind of shit, but they still had the magazines to kind of like, get that shit out of here. They performed. Same with Jay. They still had some of that. With me, it was all just one-sided, and we didn't have a media outlet, kind of like what you guys have now. Like we have the podcast, and we have like, the Olympia stuff with Tarek and, Tim Wilkins and you, Chris. We didn't have that then. If we'd have had that then, y'all would have been like, man, Phil's on a different level. He's doing his thing. Man, these guys be running their mouth. But could you imagine him having to deal with that shit and still whooping some ass, training with he ain't with his trainer all year. He just does it on the telephone and FaceTime. And y'all need a whole freaking army to go get your ass motivated. And you still come out flat. You still come out out of shape. You still come out with excuses. So, that was, it was a very interesting moment, but I don't really think about it as much as I'm talking about it. I'm just walking through it and thinking that shit was fucking funny.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking funny because you should be, as long as you win, that's all that matters. And imagine the level of, like, he had to be so fucking mad.
Yeah, but I want to get back to this because I think this is funny. He said he got paid to say all these things.
Oh, he didn't say he got paid. He indirectly said he got paid.
Oh, okay.
Come on, like we can kind of figure out, like,
he's reading between the lines.
Dennis, I mean, we could call out other podcasts if we don't want to throw names out, right? But there's people that watch this show that is gonna repeat. They're gonna do reaction videos of what I'm saying.
Right.
Sure. So we'll keep it positive, but it actually just matter of fact. I mean, it's matter of fact that there have been people that get paid sponsorships. Like you can get a sponsorship from a supplement company or equipment company or clothing company, Dennis. And just like mainstream media.
No, I know what you're saying. And I believe that I know a few things like this.
That shit did happen. And that's why I think the only times I would really like lash out like online was when I would just get disappointed in people's inability to think and have critical thought and be like, what's his motivation for running his mouth so much? Is he just trying to get noticed? Because he's probably trying to get noticed. Because majority of the time, athletes don't stick up for other athletes because they don't want to get lumped in and then have the cannons toward them by the podcaster. See, there's been a many time where I'd be like, I tell people, I'm like, leave Bonac alone. He's going through it, blah, 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 blah. And they'd be like, fuck you. And I'm like, see,
Yeah, yeah.
No, you know what I mean?
You,
Like,
you
but I'm
can't
the only
you
one.
can't stop these guys online. They can do and say a lot of shit.
And but they say they love the sport, and that's the
Yeah.
hard part. For a lot of athletes, and Milos, you probably deal with this too, because you got clients, whether it be amateur or pro. One of them who I care about, and I'm not even like close with him, Regan Grimes. I care about this kid. I think he's a great human being.
Well, thank you.
And I feel like he's at a crossroad where, is he an influencer or a potential Mr. Olympia? He's got, and in his defense, you can get paid, and we all see it. Influencers get paid way more than Mr. Olympia. Okay, way more. So I understand the psyche that goes into that, because supplement companies, shame on them, right? Like, they don't even care. Like, you could win Olympias and shit, and you could be 212 champion or whatever. I mean, like, you got Chris Bumstead, but that's a whole nother perk. Like, he's in his own fucking universe. Like, that, kudos to him. But you got like women that can't get sponsorships. Like, we're talking about lucrative shit. You got girls that are placing outside the top 10 make more than the number one girl. That's crazy. So that whole dream is like shattered, right? But you got guys like Regan who, in my opinion, it is fucked up, because you guys create some great moments, and if that doesn't equate to a victory on stage, it's almost like a wash. But imagine if he devoted, like he can't go 0 dark 30 is what I'm saying. Like, he can't like not post anything for like 6 months and just be like, there is no such thing as the Dorian Yates mentality anymore. You have to hold the fucking phone up, tell everybody how great you are, which in my opinion, I thought that's arrogant, right? Tell everybody how great you are, what you about to do to get interactions, and then have to go compete. That's what makes professional bodybuilding one of the hardest sports in the world right now, is because you have to be a self-promoter, a self-starter, and a freaking champion.
I'm so grateful for you saying that. I'm grateful for you saying it, because he's going to also see it. That's coming from Mr. Olympia, 7 times Mr. Olympia. Jay Cutler, 4 times Mr. Olympia, said the same thing. Regan, if I would lock you up in my house, made you eat, train, sleep, you would be Mr. Olympia, right? So I know.
Are you guys still working together? Because I don't hear nothing. Okay.
Yes. He just came back yesterday from Canada. But about everything that you were talking so far, listen, lions are not concerned about opinions of the sheep. And I know that it's personal. I'm like you. I hear something, I need to respond. But you at the level that you only need to smile and let people talk.
I'm glad you're saying this, Milos, because
but I'm not at the Phil's level.
But now I am. Milos. Like, now, real quick, Dennis, now, after this whole experience, if anybody replays the tape of just the 2020 Olympia, right? You didn't hear anything. It was just me doing my thing. And I will say, the lack of stress that I have to put on myself to do those contests with everything I had going on, so minimal, that now I can honor myself the way that you were saying. Like, like, it was just recently, I was on the phone with Ed Pariso talking about our contest, the Philly Classic, and he says, "Hey, can I tell you something?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I know we're friends, we're business partners and stuff, but have you," and he said the same thing. He goes, "Have you realized how great you are?" I was like, "Well, where are you going with this?" And he was like, "To not have a training partner, be training that late at night by yourself for 10 plus years and not complaining and shit online, like, and you whooped a lot of ass." He's like, "Have you like acknowledged what the fuck you just did? Because no one's going to look like that for quite some time." And I said, "Well, I'll do you one better." And I said, I'll start going on the phone and looking at some of these photos. So I started sitting back, and I started looking at some of these photos, and I started like doing one of these and looking at the videos and stuff from a different standpoint of not critiquing, just enjoying. And I ain't gonna lie, like, that shit is fucking incredible. And I'm very thankful that I was able to produce that, and I was able to have a coach that I meshed well with. And I'm also thankful that I was on stage with the competitors I was on stage with, because let's be honest, you're only as good as the people who you beat. You can win 10 Mr. Olympias, but if you don't beat anybody that's worth beating, like, people are going to be like, there's no weight to it. Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time because he prevented, repeat champions or people to ever get a championship. He prevented a Charles Barkley to get a championship, a Karl Malone, a Gary Payton. He prevented during his reign, a Shaquille O'Neal. Like, a lot of these guys, they had to get it when he left. So I think, I'm mostly proud of that part that I know, and I know wholeheartedly, like when there's a new bodybuilder, and let me ask you guys a question. When there's a new bodybuilder that show up, they compare him to who?
Yeah.
Anytime someone win, they do it to me.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, I can acknowledge it now and be like, man, maybe I didn't handle the social media shit as great as I should have, but I still fucking won. Because we get a lot of people that run their mouth and say what they're gonna do and they don't do anything.
Nothing.
They do nothing. Like, oh, I'm gonna come in shredded this year, and they come in, fat as hell. I think I think it'll be different. Like, I try to not prophesy, but like think maybe 10 years later, maybe 20 years later, someone will be like, man, who was the first one to really go through the social media shit? They'll probably have to mention me. And they'll look at some of the pain points I had to deal with. And maybe I think through breaking Olympia, through the doc, people will understand, like, okay, this guy went through this, this, and this. Let me try to learn from Phil's, good things, bad things, weaknesses, strengths. And I guess the overall is just to be authentic with what you really want. If you want to be Mr. Olympia, I'm telling people right now, you want to be Mr. Olympia, you got to have that dog in you.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it has to come out, but I say this only because I think it's important for people to truly understand. Like, Chris, you were sitting behind me last year at the press conference. And remember when I was talking and I was like, people were getting riled up and stuff. And I was like, hey, you got to want this shit. And I remember someone online was like, Phil's angry and this and that and the other. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, no, what I'm telling you is the intention that you have to be the best.
Hey, man, it's a fucking tenacity that you got to fucking have. I mean, that's just, what it is for myself. I'm just glad you're saying this, Phil, because there's just so many guys out there that don't have it like that. They don't think of it like that. And they don't want to take it there. In my opinion, I don't see it like that. I don't see them, and I want to see it because that's what I want to see it because that's what I got into the sport for, is to see that and to be able to be around people who are like-minded people like that. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
And I hope a lot of people listen to this podcast because this was one of the best ones.
At least the blondie from Whole Foods, man. At least that one.
At least. And Phil, one more thing. I know we've been all over you because you came late. So
no, it's all good. I got some time.
The hair flip. I want to know what went on. Not the hair flip, but the in the eyes. I just want to take us back there. Know what you were feeling, what you were thinking, and what the fuck you was like.
He talked about it in a documentary.
Yeah, but I'll say it real quick. I mean, I was shocked beyond words at that moment. I'm like, what the fuck did just happen?
Here's what I want to know about Phil. What did he say to you when you guys came face to face at that first moment?
We can't talk about that.
No, you can, because I think I remember you told me, but I don't remember 100% what he said.
He was jawing, saying like, you don't want none of this, and I'm like,
you see, I want a lot of that.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm already beating that ass. Man. What are you talking about? Like, what we doing?
Listen, I gotta give you this, Phil. When he turned around, it looked like, I think 9 out of 10 would have been intimidated at that moment. Not scared that you're gonna get, but is he really going to go, raise his hand? Is he going to ball up? You kept it so fucking cool that that was the perfect scenario for you, because the way you kept your cool and you just look at him like, fucking what?
Well,
it came
I will
across.
say, brother,
I feel like I would have shoved, like, get out of my personal space, or
that's not what we do, Chris. Like, what we do is,
I just think
we gotta back it up. So here's the when I say back it up, back up the timeline for 2 years prior to that. When we were filming Generation 9, right? After I won the first one, give me for a second. When we're on stage, Kyle looked really good. He came in really sharp. And I decided to come in more dense because I thought, Kai, I don't know if can play the. I mean, he can get conditioned, but his mentality is usually to be bigger, right? So I was like, well, you're not going to get out conditioned even if you try to get a little fuller. You're just not. Like I know how to do this. So, but what I don't have that he has is that muscular density because he's been training for longer. It's just calling for what it is. Kai Green has one of the most dense backs I've ever in my life.
The way he display it is just like
he
gonna come with that.
when he pulls those elbows back and you see that shit, you're like, that's slabs, bro. Like that's a lot of rowing. And so we're hitting a back shot and he's taking his time. So I do one of these, like, come on, man, you know, like flick them, like by the glutes. And if you remember, he waited, and then he acted like he was gonna punch me. And I didn't flinch then. So
you did a Kobe on.
I did the Kobe on with Matt Barnes. Flinch, right? So I'm like, did he did in 2012? I'm like, this motherfucker really was trying to get me to like
react, huh?
And I'm thinking, man, again, people be talking how I be acting, but like they never did that to him. This dude literally, when have you ever seen a dude like try to act like you gonna punch someone on body?
But yeah, but you could see that it was this was jokingly. He wasn't going to punch you. I saw it that way,
Hey, look,
and so did probably everybody else. Now, 2 years. Fast forward 2 years later, and it all started. It all started at the press conference. That's when you guys, right? Yes, of course.
It's your fault.
That's when.
Give me a reason.
It's your fault.
So that's where it started, and that year is where they came face to face. Well, Kai turned around like, you know, that's why I'm saying there's no rivalry in the sport of bodybuilding that comes even close to Phil and Kai. Hold on, Chris, I'm talking now. That comes close to Chris and Phil and Kai, and this will be in history. We will never see another real rivalry.
Yeah, real.
Now, that brings us to the end. Chris, I know you still want to say something, but
I've got one more thing.
Phil said it all.
One more thing. I was going to tell you about the one with me and Flex Wheeler.
Huh?
Me and Flex Wheeler.
I got time. Dennis, I got time.
There was
what's the hurry?
but I got to go somewhere,
Me and
guys.
Flex Wheeler.
I got to go somewhere.
Hey, goddamn.
Yeah. All right. We're going to do a part two.
What about you?
ahead.
What about you and
Chris,
Flex
how about
Wheeler?
this? Chris, this is what I got for you guys. First of all, thank you for everything. Thank you for waiting. And I know, Dennis, you've been waiting a long time. And I actually miss you guys because
I'm going to call you on the phone so to finish.
we got to like hang out. And when we do see each other, I know it's very difficult, but I do enjoy those times where we have been able to connect. Last time I saw Milos, he was fucking like eyes were red as shit because we're at the Arnold Classic. And I totally get it. But I will say, Milos, I really appreciate when I see you, we take a photo because those things do matter in the present and then in the future. Chris, I see you all the time. We'll have to get more of those photos too. I want those moments. And I mean that shit because we're all getting older and just never know. Things do change. But, you know, I have my own podcast coming out here soon. And I'm probably going to have each of one of you guys at one point in time or another as a guest. So I hope you guys will accept when that happens because I'm still obviously in the sport and I have a lot of things where I'm like trying to piece together when it comes to, you know, where we're at and where we're going and who needs to be leading the charge as far as like that person or persons competing. And I always defer to open, right? Because they're the ones that, you know, are the bigger guys. Then currently they're being paid the most on stage. But, you know, real quick, what do we, I got two questions real fast. What do we expect at Mannion show in a week? What do we expect there? And then fuck the top three, but who's winning the Olympia?
All right. I expect a nice prejudging, Olympia prejudging in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to say Hadi's going to win the Olympia. No big explanation. Just give me the names. Chris?
Just give me the straight. Yeah, give it to me. Chris, what you got? You ain't hurting nobody's feelings, bro. Like, it is what it is. You can be wrong. That's the cool part.
When we on the phone later, he's gonna come out
I'm
like
gonna go
that.
with I'm gonna go with Derek.
Okay. And what about Pittsburgh? What do you
I
think
think
is
he
going to happen?
improved
You think-
I think he improved his abs, and I think that's going to help him a lot. And I've been lobbying for him to improve his abs for like 2 or 3 years now. I already
Yeah.
told him he had baby abs, and I'm glad to see he worked on them. For Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be much of the same. It's going to be him and Nick, and I want to see them next to SAMSON, and I want to see that. I really missed the boat. I didn't know he was even going. And then I want to see Rami. I want to see fucking what Rami brings, because
Are you going?
I think Rami got something to prove here. I think all eyes going to be on Rami.
Yeah. Are you going, Chris, or no?
I'm not going this. I've been on the road so much, man. I've been
I feel you.
so
No, I feel
good
you.
to lay by the pool 2 days ago and just get some sun and chill.
Yeah.
And
Live
I'm
life.
going to Mexico.
All right, let Milos answer the question now. Come on.
Okay, I had so many more questions for Phil, but it's not gonna let me say it. So we can either wait for Phil's podcast or bring also Phil for a second part, because I have like 20 more questions.
Yeah, we
Phil,
need to go.
Phil can come on
Go
next.
back.
If Phil can come back next week, if he can.
That would be great. I mean, listen, I was just listening as a fan. I didn't ask all the questions. I have many more. But first question about Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah. I got to know what your opinion is on Pittsburgh real quick.
Yeah, listen, I mean, Derek set the whole Olympia stage 2 years ago in the Pittsburgh. Nobody counted on him. Holy shit, when we all see him, like, man, I think he's going to bring improved version. I kind of didn't really see it coming, but I do think that he's a champion for a reason. He has way too many qualities. And if he comes improved, he's going to be battling really with Hadi. But can Samson squeeze in? Hell yes.
No, he can't.
Can Big Ramy squeeze in? Listen, I agree with you. Big Ramy was not 5th place finisher at Olympia and not 4th place finisher at Arnold. What happened there? I don't know. Maybe they just
Okay.
kind of overlook him.
Why don't we just do this? Why don't you just answer the damn question?
Who's going to win? I mean, listen, Derek has a full year.
It's going to change. It's going to, your opinion on April 30th.
It's going to change 10 more times.
It's going to change. So it's all good. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Just today. Just today.
Derek sent me the T-shirt gift, so now I have a you know.
Oh, is that why you're saying Derek now, because he sent you a shirt?
I think that actually Derek will bring it.
Okay.
You know,
We make predictions like leading up
know you-
three
yeah.
months, and we change it every week. The only one,
But listen,
that's always the same as the winner is Samson. Is Samson always wins in Milos' mind? Has that changed, by the way?
hey, yeah.
Because
hold
now
on.
you're saying Derek.
I asked Phil at the Arnold Classic. Phil, if you remember, I said, Hadi Chopin could have won every IBB Pro show he ever entered, and you thought about like this, and you say, I wouldn't disagree with that. Remember? We were at
Yeah, I
the
wouldn't disagree with it. I think one thing I'll say real quick.
You're running up my goddamn time.
I know. I'm gonna say real fast. I think Hadi could have won every show. I think what Hadi has to realize is that the timing of the show is everything, and that's usually something that only competitors really truly understand. You know, I think last year being backstage at the Olympia, when I saw him take his shirt off before he even touched the dumbbell, it was a problem.
Who? Hadi.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was a problem, and I think he did not peak on Friday because, you know, he probably pumped up too much. I watched it firsthand, and that's not taking anything away from Derek, because Derek won hands down. Like, Derek won. It is what it is. But I think when you have to learn, there's so much to learn when you're trying to be Mr. Olympia. Like, you can look like Mr. Olympia in your photos and all this other shit, but Milos, you know this. You talk about nutrient timing and all this other shit. It's this close from first to second, and right now, even for Ramy, it's like this for first or second to fifth, and you have to be very. You got, like, it's hard to say that I'm going to be perfect at this show, but you have to be so good that even if you're at 85%, 90%, you're still good enough to win. And I don't think there's anyone in this lineup that could be 90 or 85 that could win. There's no one that good. And we're gonna freaking find out at the 60th. You know, I definitely believe that Hadi and Derek they're the front runners, man. But we haven't seen Nick yet. And from what I saw in those pictures, those shits are dangerous. But we got to see the other poses too. So we got to, you know, the front shot, the front, you know, hand clasp has always been dope. I think what my suggestion to any bodybuilder is find out what the weakest pose that you have and post that. Yeah. And then improve on that. Because if you improve on that, now you leave no room for doubt. Because when I came in, you said that I didn't have a back, and I didn't have a back. I'm a fucking back.
Well, you had a back, but you didn't have a 3D back.
No, I didn't have any of that shit. But once I did, what did they say after that? Oh, well, now we got to pick them apart on something else.
Now, now, since the time is over anyways, I don't give a fuck no more. We staying.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. I mean, this for Milos now. He asked you who's going to win the Olympia. You didn't really say it yet.
I said Derek.
But, okay, so now my question to you is this. All this whole year, leading up to the Olympia, leading up to the Arnold, you never once budged and said, SAMSON is not going to win. Now, why has that changed? Why do you think now Derek beat SAMSON? Why don't you think SAMSON is going to win the Olympia now?
SAMSON has all the tools. If he comes same condition as those guys, he beats them. I do believe it.
I know. I get that. We all say that.
He didn't get there in many times, and even though he improved by Arnold UK, it's still not good enough. I mean, Hadi was off at the UK and still beat him, right?
I know.
If Hadi was on,
so are you saying?
That's why.
Are you saying that he's not going to get into condition that he needs to be in?
He didn't so far, right?
Yeah.
So it's not Phil Heath's condition. It's not Hadi's condition. So therefore, if he gets in that condition, he has everybody knows legitimate chances. Of course.
I'm just saying this because I don't want the fans to think you only saying that he's going to win because you were working. Because he, yes, that's why I'm. I
never thought that in the corner.
Phil,
but one important thing now that you gave me a time, listen, because I don't need to really apologize to Phil because I didn't think of his abs. He didn't have a feeling in him, and I've seen on the documentary because I'm always like glue your stomach to the spine, don't show that weakness. But when I've seen in a documentary, he actually had no feeling. So when he is standing there, right, he doesn't know if he's flexed, relaxed, and all that stuff. And that's the only thing.
Yeah, I had a certain capacity of time, right?
Yeah.
You have to think of water depletion, but then also obviously carving up and all that stuff. So you have a certain. I knew. And this is something I got to go in on my own channel, like dive deeper in, because we're talking about like very intricate details of like competition prep and dealing with injury. But like, yeah, I only had like a certain period of time. So when they kept posing me in that fashion over and over and over again, I'm exhaling and I'm like, wait a minute, oh shit, that's there. Fuck, like
that's even
the mind and stuff. It just wasn't the neurological science did not exist. I think you were going to lead with what is it like now? Now it's much different because I've had more time to heal. I had
nerves
but Phil, do you think you lost you placed third in 2020 because of the stomach?
Oh no, I totally shit the sheets on that one. Like
because I'm going to keep it real with you too. Because when you came out first at the press conference, very confident, a different Phil. I said, "Oh, this dude, and this dude's track record says it. He's on.
I remember it. We talked after the press conference. Yeah. I showed you a picture on my phone.
So when you came out for the mandatories, I was like, wow, because she had everything in check. Front double biceps. You were confident. The crowd was on your side. Because it's so funny to see after you lose, all of a sudden the crowd is back on your side. You said it perfectly fine. Then you turned around. Now I'm looking at Phil. Now I'm seeing, okay, the back's there, but the hamstrings weren't the same.
Yeah, the glutes and the hamstrings weren't as tight. And here was the real, because, it's funny, Dexter asked the same question. Essentially, I made a decision that I'm going to be honest, I'll regret for the rest of my life. I regret for the rest of my life. And made a decision as far as how I was going to do the water depletion. Didn't really work out the way I should have. There was a couple of things that happened that Sunday and Monday that shouldn't have never fucking happened, and things happen, right?
Yeah.
And then catch up, and that was like one of the first times that I ever had to experience that, or I should say, in quite some time, where the margin for error was so minimal that going into that Thursday press conference, I was like, man, I'm actually, the body's starting to respond a little bit, but I didn't realize when water started peeling off a little bit more, I didn't have enough volume to push into the muscle. And that's when it got softer back there. And we're saying my off is like someone's like,
Yeah, it's like Hardy's off. It's like Hardy's
yeah,
off.
it's like fuck, you know, but yeah, that's why it wasn't as crisp. And like weeks go by and Dexter was like, hey man, I gotta ask you, like, what'd you do? And I told him, he was like, why the fuck did you? I was like, I'm just saying, like, it was just one of those things where, you know, you take a chance, and you know, it didn't work out. And would I have changed that? Absolutely. I actually felt after that happened that I should do one more just for myself. But I thought maybe not the Olympia. I was like, fuck, I could just roll into the Arnold and nail this thing but then I was like, Phil, that's your ego talking. Just fucking chunk up the deuces and bounce. Like, you don't need to do it you know who you are. You just happen to miss. And it's okay that you finished third. Like you now get to be a part of history in a different way, and you get to close a chapter that no one really knows until now, right? 4 years go by. Now they get to see it, especially through the doc and this and that. But yeah, man, I was not peaked at all. That was probably, I'm saying 80%, because I'll find the pictures, man. I'll text it to you. Like, you'll be like, God damn, dude, this is fucking retarded.
You showed them to me. You showed them to me in Dallas.
Crazy.
Dallas.
That shit was wild, man. Like, if I would nailed that,
you showed it to me.
I was so ready. 2-3 days before the show.
Before the show.
Well, it was before, dude. I had pictures, Milos. I had pictures 3 weeks out, and I'm not known for taking pictures.
No, but you showed them to me. I saw them pictures.
But now, Milos, when I see you next time, I'll have it in a folder. I'll show it to you. Yeah. And you'll be like,
but now, Phil, since you asked us, what do you see happening in Pittsburgh, and who do you believe is going to win the Olympia?
You know, what I see in Pittsburgh is, you know, Derek being very formidable, just like he was last time. I think this is his opportunity to kind of remind SAMSON that he's the champion, right? Derek has the upper hand because he's already seen everybody. And when you're the champion, you kind of get that more confidence, you know? Know what his coach is able to do too. And his coach is probably going to be there. If I'm a guessing man, and I don't know any privileged information, but I know that they're going to be ready. And I know that Derek has a lot of great motivation behind him with his wife and his newborn child. When you become Mr. Olympia, you don't want to ever lose. So he's going to do everything possible to make sure that doesn't happen. Now with Nick, I mean, yeah, you know, he's doing New York Pro, so he's going to look incredible, right? He's going to look fucking phenomenal. And it's going to be a great time for the fans. SAMSON is a wild card, of course, because he's the guy that we say he's right there. He's right there. He's right there. But, hey, you know, SAMSON has to prove that he is that dude. And I don't know. I don't know how that's going to translate out of guest posing, but I know that there's an opportunity to make that happen. So if it were me, if I'm any of these guys, I would just carve up for the motherfucker and just be banging, you know, just like, because you're not expected to be shredded. Like, who cares? And regardless of what happens, I think all of these guys have to remain calm and not think of social media trashing them for how they look. Who gives a shit? You're here for the fans, and you're there. So with Ramy, I really do hope that he can. I really hope that he can change the narrative, and then to think about the Olympia. Now I have to play hypotheticals, right? If Ramy shows up the greatest he could ever show up, then he's beating everybody. We already know that shit. Are they going to give him a chance, or is he able? We don't know. SAMSON is an uphill battle because he still has to get some things sorted out. Nick definitely improved, but I don't know if that type of look is going to beat the current 1 and 2 with Derek and Hadi. I just don't know. So I'm going to lean with It's tough, man. It's tough right now. I look at Hadi as like the front guy because we just saw him recently in Ohio and in UK, but I just saw Derek at freaking FIBO. So it's so freaking tough, man. Of course, I'm going to be rooting for Hani's guys. I'm just going to keep it a buck, you know. They're both number one in my eyes, and I really mean that shit.
So, but if it comes down to it, what do you think, Hadi or Derek?
I'm more than likely going to be commentating again, and I think that. Well,
but you're commentating on what you're seeing that day. We're talking about it now. We are 6 or 7 months out.
I'm saying right now it's going to be leaning toward Hadi.
Yeah, that's how I feel because we just saw Hadi at his best.
Because we just saw him at his best, and you know. That's the way it is. It's emotions aside. That's just the way it is. Dude.
And that might change again after Pittsburgh. You never know.
Well, Hadi isn't there either. So that's what makes this very exciting. Yeah. Is that Derek could show up improved from the year prior at the guest posting.
Side by side.
And once we get ready for the Olympia, you know, it's going to be hell on wheels. I do believe that they both have their strengths and they both have their weaknesses. I think if both were to play the conditioning game as their number one, I think certain poses are going to go toward Hadi more than Derek. Mm-hmm. But Derek is very big, too. Like he's got some. I mean, his back double is freaking fierce. Mm. But if he can get the most muscular and the front double, you know, like sorted out, it's a problem, dude. So it's very exciting.
We're all excited. Phil, thank you so much, man, for making the time. I really appreciate you. Milos, Chris, you know I love you guys. And I can't wait for this to air. I can't wait for this to air and people can see that, you know. And guys, watch Phil's documentary. I can only tell you because like you guys know Phil as a champion. You don't really know the Phil as a person. So watch the documentary, listen to this podcast, and you know the Phil inside out. Just like he was peeled. We know the personality. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. We out of here, Chris. Not another word I want to hear.
One thing. Just one.